today and a lot of Grizzlies to talk about, including from Vegas, the NBA season totals for over-under win totals. They're out. Vegas is not as bullish as the ESPN predictor.
What's the Grizzlies total at?
It's not as high as last year. It's 39.5.
Interesting.
Last year was 47.5, and I went with 48 preseason wins. Hit it right on the nose.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, interesting. So yeah, goes down a little bit. I don't think surprising. I
don't either.
First-year coach, some new pieces. Switching, changing it up a little bit.
Pretty
Obviously,
bluesy summer.
Sure. Obviously injuries and a couple guys starting the season with injuries. So that doesn't surprise me very much. And we'll see what the Grizzlies can do, and we'll make our predictions about the Grizzlies season and their win totals next Wednesday. So yeah, that's
next Wednesday at 5:30.
That's right around the corner.
We'll have Rob Fisher with us at 5, and then at 5:30, you'll do East and West, and we'll have playoffs. We'll have to do all that fast. That's a lot of playoffs.
Ooh, it's a lot.
And we're going to do East on Tuesday. You're going to be away on Tuesday, so Landon, Darren, and I will get a head start on you, so you can rock and roll with that. And then opening night will be here. And I would imagine anybody that's wanting to bet over 39.5, whatever it is, 40, 45, 48, it's got to include starting one of those.
That would certainly help. That would definitely go a long way. And with the way people have been talking about this New Orleans team, yeah, I think if you're going to go with the over, you certainly expect to win that first game, especially if you've got Jaren Jackson Jr. back out there, if John Morant's back out there. I think you definitely expect to win that game. So, yeah, it's going to be here before we know it, and we'll see if this Grizzlies team can start ahead of schedule or behind schedule on hitting that over.
And that would definitely be behind schedule. Behind schedule was the Seattle pitching last night.
Yeah.
And now starting in about 2 hours, Brewers at Dodgers. You mentioned it. The roadie looking good. Dodgers got them both in Milwaukee. Milwaukee's got to win tonight.
Yeah, no, this is a big game tonight for Milwaukee, just like last night was a big game for the Blue Jays, and they were able to answer the call. And it started with Seattle getting on the board in the first inning, and you thought, okay, here we go again. It's going to be all Seattle, and then, pretty much after that, it was all Toronto the rest of the night. You mentioned the pitching. George Kirby did not have it at all, only 4 innings for him, 8 earned runs on 8 hits. Just did not have it last night. A couple of the relief pitchers came in, gave up some runs as well. And on the other side, I thought Shane Bieber, after getting out of that first inning, giving up the 2-run shot from Julio Rodriguez, I thought it looked pretty good. He picked up the win. Those were the only 2 runs he gave up in 6 innings. So Toronto brought it last night, and we'll see what's in store for that game. Game 4 tonight, as we know that one won't be a sweep, and we'll see if Milwaukee can maybe get ahead of schedule of not being swept.
And remember, in baseball, for the 7-game series, it's still 2-3-2. It doesn't go 2-2, 1-1-1 like the NBA. Like, dislike, no big deal. What?
I certainly like it for travel and different things like that, and maybe not having as much layover. But it doesn't bother me. Or I don't think it's great. I don't think it's terrible. It's just kind of is what it is, I guess.
It's about the only thing that you can say from baseball is baseball's always done it that way. That's about it.
True.
That's
yeah,
left.
Nowadays, it's nothing is the same as
Boy,
what it
I sent
was.
you the video today of
video.
a field storming,
Yeah,
didn't I?
right. Yeah.
On
we
this,
were just
on
talking
this,
about it.
Yeah, on this date, 1969, the Miracle Mets won it, and there was a video out today, and I kind of remember it.
Don't fist
vaguely
bump.
remember it.
Landon, don't fist bump. You cannot claim the Miracle Mets. I'm sorry.
Oh, of course I
No,
can.
you can't.
When I claim the Mets, I claim their entire history.
You get it all for good or for bad,
I
don't you,
get it
Landon?
all. Just like for a while you had the maple leaves, but now they mean nothing to you.
No, they
Dead.
can't hurt me anymore.
Dead
They're
to
over.
him.
They're over.
It's a shame.
I don't miss them either.
Playing well right now, Brett. They're looking
Are
good. I don't know.
They have
I think they've won a couple of games.
The 69 Mets, very similar to the 86 Mets with all that pitching. 69 Mets, including Nolan Ryan as a young pitcher, Tom Seaver, Jerry Kuzman, later to add John Matlack. They got back to the World Series in '73. How'd they only win it once in 69 and 86?
It's a phenomenal question. I have no idea. You look just up and down those rosters, and it's hard to believe. But
In 86, we're not good. Stuff was so good.
Brett, I'll steal your expression. It's baseball.
It is baseball, and it gets very vague and nuanced, and especially in October and down the stretch of a year, it gets a little flaky.
It does.
It does.
It absolutely does. So, yeah, I'm excited about these two games tonight. See what happens, and you're right. I mean, this is a massive game for the Brewers because, you look at that game one, and, you can have the arguments and the discussion of, man, they were one hit batter away from maybe winning that game. You're going, okay, well, Milwaukee looks like they can battle this Dodgers team, and this could be a good series. You drop the first game at home, but bounce back tomorrow night, and then game two laid an egg. Dodgers looked like the dominant team, and so now curious with the Brewers on the road. How do they respond to being down 0-2? Obviously, they'll go up against Glasnow tonight, and then tomorrow they'll go up against Shohei Ohtani. So some pretty good pitching on the other side, and those bats have been pretty cold to start this series against the Dodgers.
I wonder when and I wonder how baseball decided we're not going to have the on-field celebrations because neither in 2006 closeout or in 2011 closeout in wild style for the Cardinals, there were maybe ones and twos. In fact, in 2011, somebody got out on the field, and it looked exactly like him. Uniform, same jacket on, and it looked just like Tony La Russa.
Really?
And got on the field, overplayed his hand, was kind of working his way up to the stage for the presentation.
Holy cow.
And they nabbed him. And I'll bet you anything. I don't know this, but I would bet security – kind of a higher view, maybe press box with, military binoculars. Just saw somebody that didn't belong and radioed to somebody's ear, and they got him out.
Get that person right now.
I'm trying to think of a. So I know nothing last 30, 35 years of winning it, even in unlikely places like no shot here, but the Cubs didn't win it in Wrigley, though. They won it on the road. Trying to 79 was wild. Was 79 on the road, though, for the Pirates? I don't think so. I think they closed it out in Baltimore. But in the 60s, it was like that. When the Cardinals won it in 64, you can see archival stuff of wild celebration at Sportsman Park.
Yeah, it's weird because you talk about it, now there's a lot of people that want to ban it in football or try to get rid of it in football and basketball, and it's one of those things where it feels like once it's there, it's hard to stop. And so it's a good question of how in baseball was it a thing that happened so often, and now it's not something that I don't think anybody even thinks about.
In that Met video, and I promise you, I particularly remember this part. They were digging up home plate.
That's great.
To take it off of them, and now baseball they do so much of the stuff on the field, whether it's in the home team victory or road, they do everything at the closeout game down on the field. I just think they made a conscious move of we're not going to have this. Brian used to. You're talking about getting things really wrong. Not only was the celebration entirely in the clubhouse.
Oh, wow.
And very organic. You had the wild champagne celebration, but you didn't have the plastic stuff up cut. Whatever was in there got destroyed practically. But ceremonial first pitches through most of the 60s and 70s that I remember, whether it was the president or whoever it was, from the first or third base kind of owner's box by the dugout circle from the stands.
What?
Yeah. There's a great picture of the 62 All-Star game in Washington, D.C., and it's a great picture, and sad because of what happened year and a half later, but a picture of Stan Musial shaking hands with President Kennedy. And he was there at the game, afternoon affair, and threw out the first pitch from the president's box by the on deck circle, by the first base dugout.
Interesting.
And a lot of them would do it like that from the stands. But introducing and going out to the mound, first president I remember doing that was President Reagan. I don't.
Wow.
And then a lot of times before Washington got a team, the president would go on opening day to Baltimore. President Clinton did. Several others did. but they would go out to the mound. It wouldn't be from a box or general seating. It'd be kind of like throwing it out from the green seats in St. Louis.
That's weird. Yeah, that's all messed up.
Yeah, we didn't have it right.
That's weird. But I'm sending you a video right now, and I'm sending it to Landon too. You talked about fans dressing up and looking like players or coaches or whatever. This is a video that I saw, and you'll get it any second now, from a hockey game the other night of a fan dressing up for the game, and it is incredible.
Man, he's ready, isn't he?
He's ready. He is absolutely
He
ready.
went in full gear.
Full goalie gear. I mean, from top to bottom. Got the helmet, got the pads, got everything, and sits down in the seat. I mean, it is, that's, I wouldn't be wanting to sit around him. That's all I'm
not
saying.
I'm not trying to be that guy, but I can't disclose at a lot of these SEC stadiums, it's not just the security you see.
Mm-hmm.
There's stuff and people there meaning business.
Mm-hmm.
If anything broke out.
Oh yeah, no, I absolutely believe
that you don't see.
No, yes,
and it's my contention at Augusta National that they have people in the crowd dressed as normal patrons.
No, I believe it.
For anybody that yells, you the man or mashed potatoes, you just don't do it. You don't do it.
Yeah, I believe that. That would not surprise me at all. But yeah,
he needs ice skates.
That would be even better. You're right. If
to bring it all together.
This cat's ready.
Ice skates very difficult to walk in.
Right, but if you're 99% there, just get that 100.
But he does it right because
he certainly does.
I believe
he's got the snow cap on the outside
awesome.
of the mask.
That's how you rock it. And I believe the person he sits down next to is like his significant other or something. That's how you got to do it because
you would hope so.
If you're just sitting next to a random person, that'd be awful. So get the end row.
I would
sit
say
next to somebody you know.
I'm a little bit more glass half full, a little more optimistic. New best friend for the game, but
maybe
sure.
I
want
seat buddy. Yeah,
a little seat buddy.
Seat buddy.
I want to get you, Landon, to like a Grizzlies game, like full like head to toe,
full Zebo.
Yeah.
Not really gonna fit.
Headband and jersey. And I think we could do it. Or even better, go to a Tigers game. We'll get you in a whole Tigers get up and with shoulder pads and all that stuff.
My favorite thing about Seat Buddy is you're there at the game, total stranger, never laid eyes on him or her before, probably won't afterwards. Best buddies for 2.5 hours. Then they cut you off in traffic and you flip them off.
That's right. Yeah. Right. Forget about all of it.
What's going on here?
I actually had that the last Titans game I went to.
Really?
Yeah.
Football is the biggest one of that.
Made friends with all Titans fans, made enemies with all the Raiders fans, and then went home and had a great time.
Yeah. Well, that's how it goes.
Right. There's even old video of the Cardinals winning it in '67. No, that was in Boston. That's not right. Yeah. They win it in '67 in Boston and lose it at home in '68 to Detroit. And not field storming, but umpire grabbing hats off people's heads and running off with them.
Oh wow, interesting.
I mean,
guess that's one way to do it.
Getting his own memorabilia.
Some memorabilia, why not? I worked this game. I deserve something out of it. Take a hat. I like it. I like where his head's at. Don't like the execution.
I had the boast before David Freese came to bat, October 27th, 2011. I asked the person I was sitting by if he had plenty of cash on him. I said, if he hits a home run, I'm going on the field. And the at bat went a little while, and I'd forgotten my boast, and I wasn't going to do it anyway, and didn't do it. But it was that night. There were people really, really thinking about doing it.
I believe it. It was a night. It was a special night for some and a terrible night for others. So that's how sports go, I guess.
Great night.
I think we should bring back the
but
field storm.
Football has no chance to keep people off.
No. But I mean, up until a couple of years ago, you could say the same for baseball, right?
I even saw old video of somebody, a group of fans, maybe Georgia fans, and I'm talking about a Rose Bowl in the 30s. They tore the goalpost down at the Rose Bowl.
Oh, wow.
And you just would never see that now. That's not going to happen.
No, absolutely not. That's interesting because you're right. For something that happened for such a long time and just now you would never even think about doing it at a baseball game anymore. So it is.
You really wouldn't.
It is really, really strange. Well, we've got a busy show today, so let me set it up before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, Pat Smith from Jocks in Birmingham. He'll join us. We'll talk college football with him. We'll recap some of those games from last week, get his thoughts on Auburn and Alabama, their games from over the weekend, start previewing some of these matchups for this weekend. 3:45, we'll talk some more baseball as we'll get into what happened last night. Massive Blue Jays win in Seattle over the Mariners. They'll go again later tonight, as well as Game 3 for the Brewers and the Dodgers. 4 o'clock, Keith Smith from Spa Track and the Front Office Show. He'll join us. We'll talk NBA with him. This will be the last preseason edition with Keith Smith that we'll have, because next time that we talk to him, we will have official finals in the books for a couple days. So a lot to get to with Keith Smith at 4 o'clock. 4:30, we'll talk about this Ole Miss Georgia game, give you a little preview of what we expect to see Saturday in this matchup. Ole Miss on the road, Georgia looking for some revenge after losing to the Rebels last year. So we'll preview that game at 4:30. 4:45, we get the big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Greg Gaston, he'll join us. We'll talk some Tigers with him, a lot of football talk, talking about this game this weekend against UAB. We'll also talk a little basketball as we've got basketball news. We discussed it yesterday. Some staff hirings that were reported yesterday afternoon. Also later tonight, balling on Beale downtown. I know a lot of people heading out there are going to go and get their first look at this Tiger basketball team. So we'll discuss that at 5 o'clock. 5:30, we'll get to what's trending. And at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Moe's Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. It's the world's biggest spa sale. It's going on right now at Family Leisure. Spas starting at $29.99 and swim spas now up to 30% off. The floor model specials, they're going on as well, and head out there and purchase a cold plunge tub. Cold plunges starting at $49.99. Free umbrellas with purchase of select patio furniture sets, and it's a perfect time to go out and purchase those swimming pools. Even though fall is here, it's starting to get a little cooler. Get ahead of schedule and go purchase that swimming pool with the clearance pricing that's going on through the end of this month only at Family Leisure. Buy now and save with that price increase. Special financing, it's always available, but only at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
Today, we really look forward to everybody being able to join us today. We're always in our Family Leisure Studios. He's Bryant, I'm Brett. Our producer is Landon Schmidt. And we are Sportstime. We're with you until 6 o'clock. And we want you to be a part of our show by texting or calling 901-360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin text and talk line. All our guests will appear on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line at 901-360-8255. This hour brought to you every day by the one and only Lexus dealership in Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway, and that's Lexus of Memphis. They're online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2025 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway, and that's where you can put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2025 flagship LS500, and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and that makes for the safe luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, it is the NFL, and it starts tonight with a matchup between the Steelers and the Bengals on Prime Video. You can also listen to it right here on Sports56. And I think a game that a lot of people expecting the Steelers to win, but on the road in Cincinnati might be a little difficult. Joe Flacco came in last week and, certainly was a better option than what they had before, and so maybe with another week of him there getting more implemented into this system, maybe he looks better in this offense, and this Bengals team looks better as a whole. Excited to see this matchup, and then you go into the weekend, and it's another week where all these weeks are starting to stack together, where we wake up bright and early to an international game. The NFL back in London this weekend, and that team that, at this point, they're kind of London's team. The Jaguars back across the pond. They'll take on the Rams, and a game against two 4-2 teams. That will be a fun way to start our Sunday morning. Then throughout the day, a lot of really intriguing games, including Mike Vrabel returning to Nashville to take on his former team in the Tennessee Titans. You got the Chiefs that are now 3-3, coming off a big win over the Lions at home against the Raiders. You've got a Vikings team hosting an Eagles team that's coming off back-to-back losses. So I think a really fun weekend in the NFL, and it starts tonight with, I think, a game that could be a little closer than some people think between the Steelers and the Bengals.
It will be the Jags on Sunday morning. It'll be the Jags' 14th time to play in London.
Wow.
And this will be the 11th time for them to play at Wembley, and they play 3 times at Tottenham.
That's right. That's right. It's a home game for the Jaguars over there.
My top story, Blue Jays said not so fast on the sweep talk, and they pounded the Mariners 13-4. Does anyone win a 13-run pool in the LCS? You have one?
That's a good question.
That's got to be right running through all the years. Rare to get 13 in a playoff or LCS game. 5 home runs last night hit by the Blue Jays. Vladimir Guerrero, son of Hall of Famer, maybe on his way to joining his dad in baseball immortality. 4 for 4, 2 doubles, a single, and that home run, and it gives Toronto a chance. They're back alive. Vlad Senior never won a World Series. Played in one really at the end. He didn't have much left in 2010 for the Rangers when they lost in 2010 to the Giants. But his son, 3 more wins, he can go to a World Series.
Yeah, and he is definitely looking the part. Brett, how about this? You would love to have if you were in a very exotic postseason 13-run pool and you have Toronto, you're feeling really good. Twice this postseason, Toronto has landed on 13 runs.
They cleaned the bank out.
It really does. Against the Yankees in Game 2, and then last night against Seattle. And if this is some extremely weird 13-run pool where it goes through the regular season and through the playoffs, how about this? Last game of the regular season against Tampa Bay, they hit 13. So 13's their lucky number, I guess.
Oh, that sent somebody out happy at the end of the year.
Someone into the season feeling really, really good.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, it is NBA preseason, and it was another loss for the Grizzlies last night. Brett, I mean, come on. At the end of the day, what do you expect when you're playing Continental? I mean, you go ahead, you walk into the building, you chalk up an L. I mean, Continental and them boys, it's hard to go up against them. But no, in all seriousness, Grizzlies fall to 0-4, but I don't like looking at the results when it comes to these preseason games. It is a lot going on, but the biggest thing was Jaren Jackson back out on the court. He finished with 17 points, 2 rebounds, 7 for 20 from the field, 3 for 9 from 3. You could definitely see throughout the night, especially early in that game, that he was really, still trying to work his way back. There were a couple of times where you could tell very clearly this is his first game of the season, so he'll get more and more healthy. And I think the biggest thing right now for this Grizzlies team, especially in the preseason, is not to worry about the results. I understand that was ugly last night. Yeah, as much as I say I don't like to look at results, I'm not worried about wins and losses for the Grizzlies preseason. It was not a pretty game last night for the Grizzlies. But the biggest thing for this team right now is worrying about getting guys healthy and getting those guys back out there working to the start of the regular season. Jaren Jackson Jr. did that last night. Hopefully, we'll see Ja Morant. Don't know if we'll see him in this last preseason game, but hopefully we will see him in the season opener. Get those guys back healthy, and then we'll see what this team looks like.
My not top story, it's in a few days, but it's Saturday in the SEC. It will have people able to draw some really big conclusions. LSU at Vandy, who's for real? OU at South Carolina, kind of last stand for South Carolina and what they thought would be a dream year. A&M at Arkansas, Aggies trying to stay undefeated. Bobby Petrino trying to make a case to keep the job. State at Florida and all that's going on around Billy Napier and possibly the end, win or lose. Texas at Kentucky. Mark Stoops could be at the end. Ole Miss at Georgia. People ready to come out of the woodwork saying same old Ole Miss if they lose. You can get ready for it. They're ready to pounce. Tennessee at Bama, 3rd Saturday in October. Ty Simpson can make a claim to be way out ahead for the Heisman Trophy. And then at Auburn for Hugh Freeze. We'll talk about it next with Pat Smith. is it must win. We'll get an answer from Pat Smith coming up.
We absolutely will. That'll do it for top and not top story of the day. How about this before we get to a break? We have some breaking news coming out of college football. Indiana and Curt Cignetti have agreed to a new 8-year, $11.6 million contract through November 30th, 2033. So an extension for Curt Cignetti and Indiana. Obviously, he is the hot name for the Penn State opening. So some big news out there for Curt Cignetti and the Indiana Hoosiers. But let's go ahead and get to our first break of the day. And when we return, we'll talk some college football. Pat Smith from Jocks in Birmingham, he joins us next.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Hit the road in your new ride from Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike and check out our new location at 1956 Covington Pike. 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. Standard 3rd row, better warranty, and 0% for 60 months available versus 4.99 for 60 months on RAV4 PHEV. That's 2025 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross or Outlander PHEV. Your choice, now $399 a month. Plus 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander. 7-seat capacity, more head and leg room, and longer warranty than Toyota RAV4. Get yours for $449 a month or buy it for $29,715. And always find peace of mind with our 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1956 Covington Pike and 24/7 at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Outlander SCO 14178, MSRP 32715. Eclipse SCO 39973, MSRP 317. PHEV SC 00816, MSRP 426,115. Includes all rebates and incentives. Fiat 895, 595 acquisition fee. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work denim by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Ariat jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Ariat just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know: Binswanger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 145 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Binswanger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Binswanger Glass in Midtown at 340 South Hollywood, across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit binswingerglass.com. Binswanger Glass.
You know what I love about Central Barbecue?
They pay you to do their radio commercials.
Well, yeah, but what I really love about Central Barbecue is I'm proud to do their radio commercials.
Really? You should put more effort into it.
I'm proud to represent the very best barbecue in Memphis, and therefore the best barbecue in the world. Wait, what'd you say?
Nothing. I'm proud to do the Central Barbecue ads, too. Believe me, I've done some ads for companies that really weren't the very best in their business.
I know the ones you're talking about.
No, you don't. That was a long time ago.
If you say so. But doing ads for Central Barbecue means being able to say honestly it's a great product at a great price.
With lots of great locations.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Busy over here on 240 up by Poplar and Walnut Grove, but it's moving for the most part. It's just Midtown traffic that's starting to get a little bit heavy here in the last 15, 20 minutes southbound on 240 all the way past Norris as it cranks up now on I-40 East over here at Warford Hollywood, headed on over towards the White Station area. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, your full-service family-owned jewelry store here in Memphis. Stop by and see them tonight at 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you, and we're about to talk with Pat Smith. A lot to get to around the SEC with everything that happened last week and some of these games this weekend. But I mentioned it right before we had to grab that break, but the breaking news that came out as we started our show, Curt Cignetti getting an extension at Indiana. Obviously, he is has been the big name out there for the Penn State opening and pretty much any other potential openings, but he felt like number one for Penn State, and Indiana saw some writing there and jumped at the opportunity to go ahead and wrap him up with an extension and see what happens there. So definitely big news for Indiana and that program.
And Frank Cignetti is putting a lot of this pressure on these coaches.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
He's making a tougher and boot leather job look way too easy for these big budget established places, and he's making life rough on people, but that's his job.
Yeah, no, it is, and he's done a really nice job with that Indiana team, and certainly a lot of buzz around him. Well, we got Pat Smith with us now to talk some college football. A lot of SEC joins us every single Thursday to talk college football from Jocks down in Birmingham. Pat, thanks so much for joining us. Let's start with what happened last week. A lot of conversation about what took place in that game for Auburn against Georgia and some of the officiating. What was what'd you make of what you saw in that game between Auburn and Georgia?
Guys, always a pleasure to be on with y'all in Memphis. First and foremost, I thought the call on the goal line by the SEC was horrendous. It was awful. It was terrible. It was only trumped by what happened there a little bit a while later when Kirby Smart supposedly didn't call timeout. Something needs to be done with SEC officiating. Now, let me just say this. That had no bearings whatsoever in regards to Auburn only getting 40 yards of offense in the second half and losing that football game. Yes, it could have been looked a lot different obviously up 17-0 as opposed to being up 10-3. But at the end of the day, Auburn's just not getting it done offensively. Kirby Smart made the adjustments. They did not make the adjustments. And so here we are, another must-win game coming up on the Plains for Hugh Freeze.
Yeah, it is. And is it Saturday night must win?
Well, we talked to Rob Pate, who is a former all-SEC DB at Auburn. He joins our show every Thursday. Matter of fact, a little bit before you come on every Thursday, Brett. And I asked him that point blank. I said, is it fair or unfair that this is a must-win game for Hugh Freeze Saturday night? And he says, no, it is a must-win game for him because there's been no evidence, guys, within the 2+ years that he has been the head coach at Auburn that he knows what he's doing offensively. It is ridiculous to see that Auburn is dead last in the SEC in offense. The quarterback play 18th worst. Hey, guys, there's only 16 teams in the SEC. So he's 2 worse than some of the backups that have come in, and I'm talking about Jackson Arnold. It's been a colossal disaster offensively. The defense is playing out of their minds. DJ Durkin has put together a top 20 defense that keeps them in ball games. So this is a very high-pressurized job, as you guys were just talking about with Curt Cignetti getting the new deal. This is a situation where Auburn's not getting the money's worth from Hugh Freeze. And if you lose to Missouri at home after another huge, big, exciting crowd at Jordan-Hare, the questions need to be asked. And it could be Billy Napier. It could be Hugh Freeze, a very bad Sunday afternoon.
Do you think it could go down Sunday for Freeze as well?
It depends on how the game looks, Brett. I was told during the off week before Georgia that Hugh Freeze was fighting for his job and that he was going to be put in a situation. It was going to depend on how the team looked. Now, granted, the team looked fantastic in the first drive against Georgia, but after that, the team did not look good. And the offense continues to struggle. And if you go at home against Missouri, and we all know Missouri's a good team, but in this conference, there's certain games that you just don't lose. Auburn does not lose to Mizzou, just like Alabama doesn't lose to Vanderbilt. There are just certain games that your fan base will not tolerate, period. And if you lose at home and you're anemic on offense again, then the question is going to be raised. This is the third year in a row that Auburn has started 0-4 in the SEC, 0-4 under Hugh Freeze. That pretty much puts you behind the 8 ball, and then you're struggling to potentially even make a bowl game. So to answer your question with a very long answer, I do think that there is a chance that that could happen. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not, but I think everything is on the table if you lose to Missouri.
And how do we hold these ADs accountable? John Cohen hired Hugh Freeze. He knew warts and all with the background of Hugh Freeze. In fact, he was very involved in a lot of that stuff, then wearing Mississippi State maroon. Scott Strickland hired Dan Mullen. He knew Dan Mullen better than anybody in a boss-coach relationship on planet Earth. Had to move on from him. He handpicked Billy Napier. When's it going to fall to them? And I offer it up to you. Now, Billy Napier doesn't fit this, but I offered this up to you. I think the coaches that made it coming from the high school ranks, Gus Malzahn, Hugh Freeze, most notably, high-octane, fast offense, between the rules and the book going around, it caught up with them.
No doubt. There's no question. And you saw that. Everyone – they were enamored when Gus Malzahn got to Auburn. He got Auburn to the national championship game. But guess what happened? 2 or 3 years later, defensive coordinators in the SEC smart enough to adjust. All right, Hugh Freeze and Ole Miss. Let's play fast. Let's get teams like Alabama that's got Mount Cody, Terrence Cody, his 350-pound self, playing nose guard. Let's get those guys, in trouble because we're going so fast. All of a sudden, guess what happened? Nick Saban started recruiting fast edge guys, tall 6'4", 6'5" guys, lean, mean, get to the quarterback fast. No more of those big guys plugging the gaps. All of a sudden, everybody adjusted, and I think you're absolutely right, Brett, what has happened in regards to Hugh Freeze. Folks has caught up. And listen, I will give him credit for this. It was a terrible situation roster-wise. He came in. He has redone the roster. Auburn's roster, and that's another problem. He has created a monster because that roster looks like a competitive SEC roster for the first time in a very long time. The problem for Hugh Freeze is he has struck out on quarterback play, and if you do not have an elite quarterback in this league, you are going to make foolish, and you're not going to win games. And that's exactly what's happened because between Peyton Thorne and now Jackson Arnold, Auburn has had 2 of the worst signal callers in due time that they've had on the Plains.
Yeah, it's a really good point. I mean, because that was when he got hired. That was the thing. Is okay. Well, he's going to bring in a quarterback, and he did not bring in a quarterback. You mentioned Alabama in there. They got the win against that Missouri team last weekend on the road. Now they're back at home. Third Saturday against Tennessee. Good matchup. I mean, Alabama at home, more than a touchdown favorite right now. 7.5-point favorite over Tennessee. What do you expect to see in this rivalry game?
Well, all conventional wisdom would tell you that it's going to be a shootout, right? Mm-hmm. Because Tennessee leads the nation in scoring. Tennessee's got the worst defense in the SEC when it comes to pass defense. Ty Simpson throwing very efficiently. Well, last year, if you remember that game, guys, in Neyland Stadium, it was supposed to be Nico against, obviously, Jalen Milroe. It was going to be a shootout, and then all of a sudden it became a rock fight in a phone booth. That's what it came out to be in that football game. I do think it's going to be a high-powered because I think Alabama, they're going to try to get something out of the run, but for sure Ty Simpson playing at the high clip that he's playing at right now. Guys, some of the throws that he made in Columbia, those are like Heisman-like moments, and I'm talking about fitting the ball into windows. This team is going forward on 4th and 8 and converting. Kalen DeBoer is kind of like the old riverboat gambler with Tommy Tuberville at Ole Miss. I mean, he's rolling the dice right now, and things are coming up really good for him. I think Alabama's going to score a lot of points. I think this is going to be a closer game than Vegas thinks it's going to be. A lot of people would love to say, oh, Alabama's going to skull drag them or whatever. But, Brett, you've been around this rivalry for a long time. Anytime you think that, you're going to get a situation where both defenses are actually going to show up and make things difficult for the offense. I think it'll be high scoring. I like the over, but I think Tennessee makes this a ball game, and I think it's a one-score game pretty late in the fourth quarter.
Oh, Pat, we remember that 99, 2000 through about 06, 07, Coach Saban just started pounding them every year, kind of the Logan Young, Roy Adams recruiting years, Memphis right in the middle of all of it, Melrose players, Tim Thompson in the middle of it, the
Albert Means, yep.
Yeah, the hate between Tennessee and Bama, it was real, wasn't it?
Oh, no, there's no doubt about it. Matter of fact, we kind of reminisced about that a little bit because Tim Stud, he was on our show, on the Paul Feinbaum show, pretty regularly, and Logan Young, he was on the show regularly, back and forth between those guys. The recruiting battles and everything went on. T. Martin got out of the state of Alabama, went to Tennessee. He's a Mobile kid, ended up at Tennessee, won the national championship for the Tennessee Vols as soon as Peyton Manning got out of there in 98. So, yeah, this rivalry goes deep. I'm glad that it's going to continue on with the new SEC schedule. But it's become a rivalry again because Tennessee has won 2 out of the last 3, and it's just reminding folks that Tennessee going to the college football playoff last year, that this is a very good program again, and you have to take them seriously each and every third Saturday.
I say this next thing, trying to be funny. I don't mean it, but we had peace in the Middle East this week, and it goes back 10,000 years. There's always something that starts it. I really believe that for that chapter of Tennessee-Alabama hate, I think it started in Batesville, Mississippi, with signing Deshae Townsend and Dwayne Rudd when Tennessee thought they had them.
Yeah, I remember very well when, Dwayne Rudd called in a radio talk show in Nashville, called in the Bill King Show on WLAC Radio and committed to the University of Tennessee, and then lo and behold, he ends up signing at Alabama. A little bit different. I think that kind of got some of the bad blood brewing in that rivalry, like you said, Brett, during that time frame. But, man, it was some high-stakes recruiting battles between those two schools.
Oh, it was. Pat Smith with us from Joxie's on our Sissy's Law Academy guest line. One more thing, Pat. I really believe these coaches, and there are a couple in the SEC. Eli Drinkwitz, Lane Kiffin. We have had other coaches through the years. I think Kurt Cignetti fits this. You could even argue a lot of coaches at Oregon. I think Chris Peterson at Boise and at Washington did it. You can get that team in the mix, getting them in the championship circle, getting the crystal ball, getting the national championship trophy. That's hard to do. Maybe impossible. You can get them relevant. You can win a lot of games, but to get it across the goal line, it's tough. What do you think of that theory?
Oh, no, you're absolutely right. It is one of the most difficult things. I mean, just think about it the way it used to be in regards to, okay, BCS, you had to be, 2 of the best teams. And then it went to 4 teams. And, of course, now it's kind of eased up a little bit, more like the NFL in regards to more teams to the party. Ohio State gets blown out by their biggest rival. That would have never happened back if Alabama would have lost to Auburn embarrassingly in the rivalry game. There was no way that Alabama would have been considered for a playoff spot. Well, look what happened to Ohio State. They get in the playoffs. They win the national championship after their last loss of the regular season. No, it's very tough to get your team in that situation. But, you saw what Cignetti did last year, and now he's being rewarded for it, another really good team in Indiana. But since we are now NFL light, every year people can redo their rosters as long as you've got a nice NIL budget and you've got some guys that are willing to go out and got good personnel decisions made, not like Michael Lombardi there at North Carolina, but a good general manager of a good college football team. You're going to be able to kind of reset that roster to your liking, and that's what you're going to see moving forward. And I think schools like Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin has proven that you can basically have a new personality every single year and be in competition for a national championship.
Yeah. It's going to be a fun weekend around the SEC. A lot of games to look forward to. Pat, as always, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll do it again next Thursday.
Absolutely, guys. Have a great weekend.
Right back
You
at
too,
you.
Pat.
Thanks,
Thank you so much. Pat Smith with us from Jockson. We've sat together in the press boxes in Knoxville and at Legion Field and in Tuscaloosa a lot of times on the third Saturday in October, and it's usually something going on. He mentioned Michael Lombardi. You know that story, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
And it's out that – and Brian, I know we talked about it. We talked about it in the context of Live Golf.
Yeah.
But if you ever got the Saudi royal family interested in fill-in-the-blank sport, like they are golf, if they turn the spigot on –
Oh, yeah. I mean, just look out. I mean,
$10 million quarterbacks.
It's over for it. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't
But you got to get them to like it. They like golf.
Yeah,
It doesn't. They don't seem to.
they like golf.
And they were kind of tepid to Lombardi's overtures.
Yeah, but it's You're right. We talked about it a couple years ago and kind of felt like that's the next thing with NIL and all of this stuff. And you let somebody go over there from a college and get them interested and open the checkbooks.
I mean, you get one son interested.
Oh yeah, and
I mean, his piece of the inheritance goes on and on.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm glad they're interested in golf. It's great. I would think
ruined the tour.
But I would think football would be easier to get people interested in than.
Well, even for them, they see the money that can be made. They see these TV ratings.
Yeah, that's exactly.
But how much more do they need?
Well, they don't.
Are they going to be sitting there sweating the Arbitron?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. No, I don't think so at all. So yeah, some interesting stories coming out, and of course, look who it is. The program that has unfortunately made a lot of stories this.
That was Dick Sheridan's great comeback to me when I asked him, would you want to run the Kentucky Derby winner, or just put him up for stud fee? He goes, much money they have, they're not worried about that horse.
No, not at all. Not at all. But we need to grab
Dick Girardi. I'm sorry, not Dick Girardi when he joins us on the Derby.
Yeah. Got to talk to. Might have to get Dick Girardi on in a couple months. Talk some basketball and get his thoughts on the basketball season. But let's get to another break. When we come back, we got to talk some baseball, as last night we had a big Blue Jays win, 13-4 win for them over the Mariners. Both games going later tonight, so we'll talk all about it next on Sports Time.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
If you love sports and Mexican food, you can get the best of both at Los Cabos Mexican Bar and Grill on Summer near Graham. Watch all the big games on all the big TVs on all the walls at Los Cabos. And enjoy premium tequila shots anytime for just $5.50. Celebrate every day with lunch specials from 10 to 3 and happy hour from 3 to 8. Lunch is just $6.75 to $10.99 and margaritas start at $3.99. Experience real Mexican cuisine along with great sports at Los Cabos on Summer near Graham.
It's time to get your new ride, and Gossett Hyundai South is the place to get your Hyundai on. Come check out our new showroom with less wait for service and get great deals like 2025 Hyundai Elantra SE, fresh, edgy design, 41 MPG Highway, $287.56 a month. How about 2026 Hyundai Tucson SE SUV, comfort, safety, and tech, $323.95 a month, and 3-row SUV Santa Fe SE, $348.83 a month. 29 MPG Highway, or get 1.99 for 60 months available. And they all come with America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Hyundai South, 2660 Mount Moriah. Or online, HyundaiMountMoriah.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Elantra SU 053407, MSRP 24430, Tucson TH 629951, MSRP 31760, Santa Fe TH 153,662, MSRP 37280, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 895, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only. Must finance through HMA. Not all customers will qualify.
Family Leisure doesn't do anything small. It's always got to be big, just like the world's biggest spa sale. Happening right now at Family Leisure. Check this out. You can get spas starting under $3,000. Spas and even swim spas, they're up to 30% off. Floor model spas have even bigger special prices. Cold plunges are all the trend right now. Take the plunge starting under $5,000. You see a patio furniture set you like? You could get a free umbrella with it. Ask an associate for details. Plus, swimming pools are clearance price now through the end of October. Get yours before the prices increase. And as with any big sale, special financing, it's available. The only thing small during the world's biggest spa sale at Family Leisure are the prices. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With over 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
The 2025 Range Rover Sport sits right at the heart of the Land Rover lineup, offering a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility. Smaller and more agile than a full-size Range Rover, it's a great option for everyone who wants luxury and practicality. Every model comes with 8-speed automatic transmission and all-wheel drive standard. Whether you navigate city streets or tackle rough terrain, Range Rover Sport has you covered. Every drive is powerful and breathtaking. The 2025 Range Rover Sport is the epitome of sporting luxury. Test drive one at Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, last night it was the Blue Jays that got the big win and got a lot of runs last night. 13 total runs after...
Save some of those runs.
That's right. Well, after the Mariners, they did that in Game 2 up in Toronto. They had all the runs. This time it was the Blue Jays' 13-4 win last night, and it started off with the Mariners getting on the board early. Julio Rodriguez with a 2-run shot to put them up 2-0 in the first inning, and after that it was all Blue Jays from there. 5 runs in the third inning for them, a run in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, 4 in the sixth, and then tacked on one more just for the heck of it in the ninth inning to make it 13 runs. 2-4 from the Mariners. Pitching a struggle last night for the Mariners as a whole. George Kirby, only 4 innings, gave up 8 earned runs on 8 hits and 2 walks. Vargas came in after that, gave up 2 earned runs. Fagerson came in, 2 earned runs for him. And Jackson came in at the end of the game, gave up 1 run. So every pitcher that threw last night for Seattle gave up at least 1 run. So not what you want. Yeah, really. Not what you want at all. And we'll see how the Mariners can respond tonight, or if maybe Toronto makes this interesting and we talk about a 2-2 series going into Game 5.
Brian, I know people are probably sick to death to hear me talk about it. I'm sick of talking about it. These start times today, 5:08 Central. That means 3:08 in Los Angeles. I guess that's just the earliest they will ever start them out there.
Yeah.
Is in that 3 o'clock local window.
Yeah.
They're just not going. And I know the shadows are going to be, especially for the batter, are going to be something early in that game. But it's October. We have long shadows.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and I think now, now that we're down to, the ALCS and NLCS, only 2 games. I think they're just like we'd like it closer to prime time and when people are more likely to be in front of the TV and not kind of middle of the day.
I agree.
I'd love it.
5:33. 5:33 local in Seattle.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. I mean, look, I'd love to have a game going on right now, and have some action on. But that's the other thing, Brett, is both these games tonight out on the West Coast. So I mean, it's you talk about that time differential. You can't start, I guess, too early out there. So having both these games, because you're right, even the late game tonight, it's 7:33 start for us, but it's 5:33 start out in Seattle. So even the late game tonight starts early for them.
I know somebody's making big money, and it matters big money for them to have this just right. But as the Brewers-Dodgers, as it's ending, that's about when Jays and Mariners are beginning.
Yeah, no, you're right, and that's the thing. We talked about that in the last series as well. Of maybe especially if you're going to do it to where I know it hurts people on the East Coast, but if the last game is going to start Seattle time at 5:30, like, Could we not just make it 6 o'clock their time and start
and
it a little bit
why
later?
so exact? Why 5:08? They're not on a over-the-air network. There's no evening news to deal around. How come we can't tighten up Brewers Dodgers to 5:00?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's with every sport. I mean, with the NBA, it's about 10 minutes.
And you can start the pregame. You can start the pregame this morning at 10 o'clock.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I don't know exactly, but baseball is the only sport where they will, when you're looking at a schedule, they'll tell you the exact time they're starting at. Whereas basketball,
and you can count on it.
Yeah, basketball, they'll tell you it's starting at 7 o'clock and ball's going in the air at 7:10.
In college, in the minor leagues, and in the show for sure.
Mm-hmm.
When those umpires pop out, it's 5 minutes to a first pitch, and you can set the nuclear codes back.
You certainly can. So I guess that's good. When you see that time, it's going to start at that time. So I guess that's a positive to it. But
yeah. But
anyway, I don't
really
know.
enjoy whatever time they start.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be watching it whatever time they throw it on at. But we need to get to another break, wrap up this first hour. But before we do that, let me remind you about Frontier Western Store. Family owned and operated since 1967, Frontier Western is your one-stop shop for all the biggest brands in Western wear. They're the one-stop shop for Carhartt in the Mid-South, but they've also got you covered with plenty of other brands when it comes to shirts, shorts, jeans, outerwear. Whatever you're looking for, they've got it in stock. But if you need a new pair of jeans, you got to go down to Frontier Western Store. They've got all the biggest brands from Ariat all the way down to Wrangler, and you'll love how easy it is to find the perfect size and style for you. While you're there, check out Frontier's world-famous boot showroom. Whether it's work boots or dress boots, Frontier has you covered for the entire family with plenty of in-stock proven classics like Ariat, Dan Post, and Durango, and that's just to name a few of the many types of boots they have in stock. At Frontier, their pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know you'll be getting the best deals. Head down to 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch and check out the entire selection. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sundays, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. for Frontier Western Store. Well, let's get to another break, and when we return to start our second hour, we're talking NBA. Keith Smith from Spot Track and the Front Office Show, he joins us next.
Everything today is technologically based. Well, except maybe you. If you're struggling with tech, no matter what kind, call Tech For You. Tech For You for TVs, home theaters, cameras, smart locks, digital storage, and more. Tech For You makes it simple and affordable. Call 697-9695. Make your home safe, comfortable, and up to date with Tech For You. Stop struggling with tech. Call 697-9695. Veteran-owned and operated Tech For You. Technology simplified.
Hey, Mid-South, if you're looking for a new ride, look no further than Gossett Kia on the Pike. And remember, every Gossett Kia comes equipped with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. 2025 Kia K4 LXS, we Gossett $154 a month, $39.95 due at signing. How about 2025 Kia Sorento LX, we Gossett $195 a month, $49.95 due at signing. And Gossett Kia on the Pike's got 2025 Kia Soul S, $245 a month, $39.95 due at signing, all 24-month lease. You just ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today. Hurry to Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike or online anytime at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Sorento SG 405-858, MSRP 34,275, sold S72,72,681, MSRP 24,980, K4 SE 195,392, MSRP 24,375, includes all rebates and incentives, 895 PF plus finance through KFA, excludes tax title and license with approved credit, deal stock only, see dealer for complete details, offer valid through 11/03/25.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
Attention passengers, we've reached 10,000 feet and internet is now available for purchase.
I just paid hundreds for this flight, and you can't even throw in internet? I'll just take the free pretzels.
Sorry, but I do have snack boxes for sale.
I'm just gonna sleep.
In that case, we are selling pillows and blankets as well.
I'll just breathe. That's free, right?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-969-1199. That's 800-969-1199. 800-969-1199.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I'm inviting you over for dinner. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner of scrumptious combinations. Fresh salads, homemade soups, or maybe start with an appetizer, like our baked Dungeness crab dip with manchego cheese, lemon, garlic, and French baguette toast. Drift into one of our fresh seafood dishes, like the caramelized sea scallops with curry beurre blanc, black forbidden rice, and Thai mango salad. Or our ancho honey glazed salmon with creamy black bean puree, avocado pico de gallo, and jalapeno crema. Maybe you're looking for something cozy and comforting, like our Duroc pork chop with apple brandy demi-glaze and blue cheese bacon mashed potatoes. We have something for everyone. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us. I'd sure love to see you.
Congratulations to Napa Cafe, celebrating 27 years of great food and service for you. Napa Cafe.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. A couple of wrecks out here in the last 15, 20 minutes. Midtown traffic, well, that has picked up here in the last few minutes with that volume. 240 southbound at South Parkway. T-Dot's out here already mopping up a couple of earlier accidents as it starts to build pretty good coming down certain sections now. 240, especially going eastbound here at Mill Branch all the way to 385 as you get on to Bill Morris Parkway going outbound. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry wants you to know they are your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. Check them out at 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with John Harden, weekdays from 11 to 1. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back in Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we start our second hour on this Thursday afternoon. And we start it like we start it every Thursday, talking NBA with Keith Smith.
Time to talk NBA with Keith Smith from Spot Rack and the Front Office Show, and on Twitter X at Keith Smith NBA. Here's Keith Smith talking basketball with Bryant and Brett.
Keith Smith joins us now to talk the NBA. Keith, thanks so much for joining us. A lot to get to, but let's start with the Memphis Grizzlies. It was another loss for them last night in preseason. And Brett and I have talked about it. I don't really pay too much attention to preseason records or really the results as a whole in preseason. And I don't know how much of the Grizzlies preseason you've watched, but what have you noticed about them in preseason, and how concerned should Grizzly fans be with this, 0-3, 0-4 start for the Grizzlies?
The record part, I'm with you. I don't care at all. It doesn't matter. No one remembers how many games anybody ever won in the preseason. What I care about is, are you healthy? And what do guys look like? And if you're incorporating new things, what is happening there? And I think for Memphis, it's a little bit of a mixed bag. The healthy part, we know that's not necessarily there, right, unfortunately. But it sounds like some good news on Jaren Jackson Jr., which is, positive. So we'll take that. But then what you're kind of looking into is, all right, how are guys looking? And I think you've seen some positive stuff. I think Jalen Wells some of his on-ball ability has really shown, and I think that looks pretty good. I think what we've seen them run, I think when you see some of the same plays, sets, concepts getting run by better talent, the results are going to be better because the idea and the strategy is pretty solid. And then, how are guys looking together and fitting together? I think that's, that's still very TBD because it's been just a very piecemeal putting it together so far.
Keith, you're right. A little better news on the injury front, maybe more on the way. Good to see Jaron back out there, limited playing time last night, but really getting ready to ramp up and be in that starting lineup next Wednesday night at FedEx Forum against New Orleans. The thing that concerns me the most is organizationally. A year ago, you bring in the whole new staff, largely European, led by Tomas Isolo. Let's score. We're going to score 140. We're going to beat everybody, running up and down the court. Now still want to play fast, but kind of want to go back to a little more D, a little more grit and grind. I bet Taylor Jenkins is somewhere thinking, hey, I knew we had to play more defense last year.
Yeah, it's funny. I like to say if we really had NBA preseason bingo cards, the free spot should be we're going to play faster because everybody says that, right? Everybody that I've been doing this a while, and everybody's always, we're going to play faster. We're going to get out and run. We're going to, find easy offense and all those kind of things. And it's like, okay, there you go. We'll see. And then some teams do it. And then some teams do it for the first month of the season. And then they go right back to who they are. And I think there is always a sense of when a coach gets let go, I think sometimes with the coaches, hey, it wasn't playing this way because it's how I thought I wanted to play. It was playing this way because that's what our personnel was suited for. And I think that's where it can be a little bit tough. But, yeah, I think for the Grizzlies, it's going to have to be what is best for us to try to win games now because they're not rebuilding. They are not, one of the bottom-end teams. They're trying to win. And I think for them it's going to be, all right, we don't have superior talent to all these other teams. We are not loaded 1 through 10, 11, 12 in talent. So it's going to be, some of it's going to have to be relying on our strengths to play at a certain level. And that's going to be what they're going to have to work out really in the first, now it's really going to have to be in the first month of the season because so much of this training camp and preseason they weren't able to do that due to the injury.
How much do you think it will be kind of going through, or I guess when should we expect it to be kind of what we should expect? Because like you said, 1, you're not healthy right now. 2, you have a coach that's in his first real year of being an NBA coach. When do you think it's time for this Grizzlies team? Okay, here's the product that it is a somewhat complete product out there.
Yeah, and let's add to that, you have some young guys in pretty big roles, and you have some new faces to the team as well. So those things are all going to lead to not having had this preseason run is tough. So I think we should have a pretty good feel for what this team is. And this is true of just about every team around Christmas, right around the turn of the year. We should have an idea. And if they are kind of, in 11th, 12th place in the conference, and I know they've got a pretty difficult schedule to start the year too, you're going to look at it and say, all right, maybe this isn't the year. And then you have to start making some decisions on, all right, are these the right guys and we got to get the other right guys? Or do we need to start thinking about doing things really differently? So those are, I think, kind of, where you're looking at this is, all right, that's what you got to give it. You got to give it about a 2-month run to really start to figure it out. Because you start making snap decisions in, when you're in, November, those generally don't turn out well for you.
Keith, the great Hubie Brown, when he was here, he formed a lot of NBA brains in this town just listening to him and how smart, how brilliant he was and how he could talk about it. He would broke everything down kind of in 10 games, kind of 8-10 game breakdowns and never going, W's and L's for a full 82-game season. But that's how he talked about it, kind of piecemeal like that, because and then see where you are after every 10-game tranche of games.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think every coach does it a little differently, right? Some do it in those 10-game increments. Some will say we do it month by month. Some are, they Mark Stein was one of the big people who said he breaks everything down into trimesters. And that, I think, was partially influenced by, some of his connections in front offices and the like. But, yeah, those are some of the things for sure that, they're going to have to figure out, all right, what are our measures of success? And then we're going to kind of get into them, and then we'll just kind of move forward with those. And that's, what I always say is you just got to stay true to that. If you're going to say it's every 10 games, then stay with every 10 games, and we're going to evaluate things.
And that's what scares me organizationally about the Grizzlies. I think the last year and a half, 2 years, had a great plan, great beginning, early years for Zach Kleiman's regime, but now it feels like they're kind of going everywhere and not staying to a plan. Boy, it's talking about sticking to a plan. Today at Spot Track, Keith, the job you did on breaking down every team's contracts, and I go to the Grizzlies section. It says players on standard contract, 15, players on two-way contracts, 3, players on camp deals, 3, $16 million below the luxury tax. There aren't many that are that high below it. There are a couple, Utah and a couple more, but then you go down to Phoenix. Only $274 million over the luxury tax.
Thousand.
274,000 over the luxury tax. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's this is part of why we do this is everybody's always asking, who has roster spots open, who's got to cut guys and all that. And what we try to give a little bit more perspective on is here's what that looks like, but here's why this might matter. And for a team like Phoenix, they've got an open roster spot on their standard roster spot, but they could maybe keep a guy like Jared Butler. Well, could they keep him? They're already, just into the tax. And that's going to be, all right, well, can we get out of the tax anyway? Then maybe we keep them. That's why we try to break those things down in that way. And then you've got, a team like Brooklyn that they're barely, over the salary floor. And that's something they've, got to work through and figure out. So, yeah, we're just trying to give you the whole perspective of where the league is at.
Yeah, Brooklyn right there at 190. It is a great breakdown.
Yeah, it really is.
I appreciate that.
Keith, I was talking with someone earlier today, and we were talking about the Phoenix Suns. I think a lot of people are expecting this Phoenix team to really struggle this year, and a lot of Grizzly fans will be paying attention to Phoenix because of that first-round pick next year. But I was having this conversation, they started talking about Jalen Green, and I just feel like a lot of times when I hear people talk about Jalen Green, it feels like they're talking about the Jalen Green that we saw in the playoffs, the Jalen Green that really struggled, didn't have a lot of consistency. During the regular season, Jalen Green was much better and was one of the better go-to guys for that Rockets team last season. Now this year, being traded to the Suns in that Kevin Durant deal, I know it's ugly because it's like who's going to play where. They're all injured right now, it feels like. But once this team gets healthy, once they kind of figure out roles and who's going to do what, I'm not saying this team's going to be good, but I feel like they could be kind of a fun team to watch.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think there's a chance we could see them really kind of play to a different level than what I think we're thinking about them right now. The challenge is if they're in the East, we could say, maybe they sneak into the play-in. In the West, it's like, yeah, probably not, right? It's very hard in the Western Conference. I don't love that we felt like we did this a couple years ago with them of, hey, we're going to run without a point guard. And it's like, it didn't go well for 2 years. Why are we still doing that? Like, I think it's, we gotta solve that. But when it comes to Jalen Green, I think what's tough is I think there are two things that happen here. Is one, when a player is not hyper efficient in their best value is scoring, they take a lot of grief. Like it becomes, all right, are you even good? Like that starts to become the conversation. The other thing, focusing on young players' first appearance in a playoff and then deciding who they are, that to me is just ludicrous because I can't tell you the number of guys who have gone through their first playoff run, and it was rough, right? And they did not play well. So I think those are the things we got to kind of keep in mind a little bit. But, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, another guy, right, who's starting behind the 8 ball. He's got a hamstring injury. He's not going to be ready to go right out of the gate. And that Phoenix team, they need all the talent they can get on the court, especially scoring, because that's where they'll be fun to watch. And quite frankly, we're a few days out from opening night. I'm fired up to watch all 30. But with the Suns, it is, how are you going to score the ball if it's not Devin Booker? Like, who's putting the ball in the hoop when Jalen Green's not out there alongside Devin Booker? There's not a lot of scoring on that team.
Keith Smith with us on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line from Spot Track. He's with us every Thursday talking the NBA year-round, and we are so appreciative of it because it is his time of year. Keith, do you have a go-to predictive analysis site, all these indicators, Vegas over and unders? Do you have a go-to site for any of that? And I'm not talking about for gambling purposes, but do you have any that's a strong indicator to you of, yeah, look out for that team?
Yeah, so what I do when I'm sitting down and kind of mapping out where I think teams may finish in the season, I do it independently first. I don't look at anything. I don't want to get into – I just don't want to be influenced. Like, I want to make it my own. But then what I'll do is the people that I really like, and I think Kevin Pelton at ESPN with some of the analytics modeling work he does is really ahead of the game on some teams. I remember – do you remember the year Boston shot to the top of the conference with that team that traded for Isaiah Thomas and all that? Pelton had them as, I think, the second-place team in the East, and people are like, that Celtics team? Like, what are you on? Like, your model is broken. And then it came true, and that was where I kind of became more of a believer. But I try to – then what I try to do is use that of, like, all right, where am I way out of bounds on a team? If I have a team – second and everybody else in the basketball world has them 12th, all right, what am I seeing that I'm maybe trying to see and shouldn't be, or what is there? And I will stay with that. And the one thing I don't do is I don't anchor to anything I come up with preseason. I don't move off it too early, but if we get into Christmas and the new year and a team I thought was going to be good is not good, I'm willing to pivot. And the biggest thing that I've learned is helpful is say, you know what? Yeah, I was wrong. Like, I was wrong. It's okay to be wrong. Like, it happens all the time in our world, and it's, you know, I've been wrong before. I'm going to be wrong again, and I don't let it, you know, upset me at this point.
A lot of moves today and yesterday around the NBA. Spencer Dinwiddie waived by the Charlotte Hornets. What's the reason there to waive Spencer Dinwiddie? Is this just that they're kind of buying in on a lot of young guards and kind of want to look towards the future and not more of a veteran guy, or is just we seeing the kind of tail end of Spencer Dinwiddie's career?
All of the above.
Yeah.
A little bit there. I think with Spencer Dinwiddie, I think that was an odd signing to begin with because it was one where when they made it, you kind of looked and said, this isn't a team that's going to win a ton.
Right.
And they have some other veteran guys, so why do we need to load up on vets? And then as you got kind of even deeper into it, it became, yeah, you've got a lot of young guards and guards who need to play and guards who need to play a lot. So it really was an odd signing. It is rare to see a team waive a guy that they signed as a free agent, even when they're on a minimum contract. That's always one where that kind of perks my, you know, attention up a little bit and saying, that's a little odd. So that's, you know, that part of it. And then I think the other thing there was, I'm guessing it ultimately came down to we're just never going to play him. Pat Connaughton's contract's a little bit more valuable as a trade piece. So we're going to, you know, keep him, and we're going to move on a different direction with Dinwiddie and our guard group.
Yeah. The other kind of big news in terms of guys no longer on rosters, Malcolm Brogdon announced that he is retiring after 9 NBA seasons. Talked about, you know, physical, mental toll that he's taken over these couple of years. What did you make of that news?
Yeah, very surprising. This one felt a little bit more like one of those NFL retirements where a guy is in camp, he's ready to go, and then he's like, you know what, I don't have it in me. I don't want to do it anymore. And when you read Malcolm Brogdon's statement, there was a little bit of that in there where it felt like, Malcolm Brogdon was a little bit of, this isn't, I'm not going to do it anymore. And I think that's kind of where we, ultimately landed out with him is, all right, it's time to do something else. Malcolm Brogdon, if anybody's followed his career, he's a guy he's got a lot of off-court things going on, some really great things that are, for the betterment of all people. And I think, in that case with him, it becomes really a situation of, all right, he's not fully committed, so he's not going to kind of cheapen the process by, doing this when he's not fully committed. It's going to be, all right, I'm ready to, hang it up and call it a career.
Today, a lot of NBA season over-under totals released by Las Vegas. Your Boston Celtics, 42.5. That's 16 under last year. They were 58.5. We know a lot of the reason why. How do you think that shakes out for Boston?
Yeah, it feels a little low to me. I'm a little higher on the Celtics simply because I think, yes, they lost a ton of really great players, right? Not only is Jason Tatum up, but traded Porzingis and Holiday, and Horford's gone, and Cornette is gone, and their big man rotation is one of the more questionable to start the year in the entire league. But I also am very much of the belief of you still have a lot of talent there, and you've got an organization that has done nothing but win over the last several years. So I really feel like with the Celtics, we're in a position where, all right, hey, this is, they're I'm not saying they're going to be great. Like, they're not going to win 50 games, but if they win 44, 45 games, that's not really going to surprise me because I think there's just that much talent still left on this team.
Keith, the news came out earlier this week that the Dallas Mavericks have given Jason Kidd a multi-year contract extension. There's been a lot of talk about, obviously, the Mavericks over the last year or so with the trade, then getting the number 1 pick in Cooper Flagg. What did you make of them giving Jason Kidd this extension? And I've watched the last 2 preseason games for the Mavericks. I'm excited about this team. I think, obviously, dealing with some injuries early in the year, obviously with Kyrie going to miss some time. But this feels like a team that can compete this season with all the pieces they have.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. How often do you think Klay Thompson's walked on the court and been the shortest guy in his entire life?
It's insane.
I'm going to guess not very often. And he's a legit 6'7". And I don't, but I mean, this was, all this small ball that the Mavs and the Rockets started Kevin Durant at shooting guard the other night, which throw back to when he was the Seattle Supersonic playing for PJ Carlissimo. So, I think extending Jason Kidd, really smart move. He's done a lot with that team. He's kept them competitive in moments when things were kind of going sideways, especially last year. Luka missed a lot of time early, then the trade, then you lose AD, then you lose Kyrie, and he kept them going. And I think he's really grown into being a pretty good coach. This year, again, it's my fallback is they're in the West, so it's going to be hard. But yeah, I mean, they're an interesting team. A lot of it will depend on what can their guards do. It feels like they've got a trade in them to kind of rebalance things a little. They feel like one of the more unbalanced rosters in the NBA right now because of they're so heavy on forwards and centers. But we'll see. But yeah, I think they're going to be fun, and they're going to defend, and that goes a long way towards being a good competitive team.
Dallas really could enjoy the best laugh, and that's always the last laugh over that deal with the Lakers.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm not going to buy into Nico Harrison saying now people are seeing the play. Yeah. Nobody saw the play, and you got lucky, and you got Cooper Flagg. Like, I mean, let's be honest. Right. Like, we should all get that lucky, after we make a big mistake in life. But it kind of, is what it is. But it's, now, for out of everybody, I'm happy for Mavericks fans who had their hearts torn out, and now they get to root for Cooper Flagg for what we hope is the next decade or so. That's a pretty good consolation prize.
Yeah, I do love the image of Nico getting out there and saying, "I told you so." You should have trusted me with
Trust
that
the plan.
trade. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is going to be fun. Next time we talk to you, Keith, we're going to have official
Games.
finals in the books. Regular season will be here, so definitely excited about that. As always, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll do it again next Thursday.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Keith.
Thank you, Keith. Enjoy the ball.
Keith Smith joining us talking the NBA, and we are so close. Only a handful more of days with preseason games, and then it'll be on to Tuesday, and we'll get the regular season openers, and kind of that first week, we'll all kind of be learning, all right, how do I watch all of these games? Because we'll have the games on Prime, we'll have the games on NBC, on Peacock, so it's going to be kind of a learning process to start the season.
We will have finals, and if the NBA finals, if they go 7, the next Thursday we will talk with Keith without results from the week before to talk about June 18th.
Holy cow.
2026.
Get ready. Feels like an eternity right now, Brett. It's going to go by like that.
Next year.
It's crazy. But, hey, I'm ready for it. I'm excited for action. I'm excited for games, and they'll be here very, very soon.
I know we're going to go over the Grizzlies' schedule a lot, and we'll do it a lot next week, and we'll have all these predictions. Never mind Hubie's 10 games. Never mind, the trimester. I just think those first 3, home against New Orleans, home against Miami, home against the Pacers, 2-1 looks real good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what you're hoping for. Obviously, like you said, all 3 of those games being at home, you'll have an advantage there. I know I was listening to Eli this morning. He was kind of talking about kind of on the flip side of that, of maybe the worry of not having a big crowd for opening night because you have those two games on the weekend. And I get that part of it, and I kind of want to go the different direction of that of it's good, though, if you are going to have that, to have those 2 games on the weekend where you can expect big crowds, and so maybe that will help you in this first 3-game stretch against these opponents. So, yeah, I mean, look, if we're coming in here next in I guess 2 weeks and talking about a 3-0 start for the Grizzlies, I think we're feeling really good, and then, you hit the road, and you've got a couple of tough games after that. But, yeah, I think a 2-1 start or a 3-0 start, we'd be jumping for joy in here.
Sure would be, and Greg defended, and I'm with him, and Eli did as well. There's only one opening night.
Yeah,
let's fill it up and have it rock.
Yeah, I hope it is, and that would be the great thing is if you get a great crowd on opening night, and then you have that momentum carry into the weekend and have big crowds there. So really looking forward to next week, and it'll all get started for the Grizzlies next Wednesday against the Pelicans down at FedEx Forum. But we need to get to a break, and when we return, we got to start previewing games for the weekend, and we'll start with this big game, Ole Miss and Georgia. We'll preview that next on Sportstime.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Top Gun is the largest indoor range in the Mid-South, but size isn't their only difference. Top Gun has the best instructors with over 300 years combined experience and classes all the way from first shot to master marksmanship. Plus, Top Gun is affordable. Gold membership is just $48 a month. That's just $1.60 a day for unlimited range time, free gun rentals with purchase of ammo, and members lounge access. Top Gun 2770 Witten Road and TopGunMemphis.com. Always shoot with the best. Top Gun Memphis.
Air. We breathe it naturally. Simple, right? Not so fast. The air you breathe could be hazardous to your health. Don't guess. Be sure with a phone call to the Memphis Mold Inspector, the only licensed mold assessor in the Mid-South. Call the Memphis Mold Inspector to check the air quality inside your home and office. Protect babies, pets, new homes, old homes, employees, friends, loved ones, and you. Just call 901-292-7788 for clean air and peace of mind. 901-292-7788 for the Memphis Mold Inspector. Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
All 650 acquisition fee K2 SE 195,392 MSRP 24,375. Sorrento SG 405,856 MSRP 34,275. Sold S727 2681 MSRP 24,980. Includes all rebates and incentives. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. Dealer stock only. See dealer for complete details. Must finance through KFA. Offer valid through 11/02/2025.
Hey, Mid-South, you're not going to believe the deals that Jeff Allen's got going on at Gossett Kia South in Mount Moriah.
You got that right, Randy. 2025 Kia K5 LXS, $159 a month. 39 MPG highway. $35.95 due at signing. 24-month lease. 2025 Kia Sorrento, $189 per month. 48-month lease. $49.95 due at signing. 2025 Kia Soul, $209 per month. $35.95 due at signing. 24-month lease. Plus a new 2026 EV9, 72 months financing available and rates as low as 3.49.
Sounds like a plan, Jeff, and they're all equipped with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
This traffic report brought to you by Salt Sports Bar and Bistro, 3101 South Mendenhall Road, where great food meets the big game.
Sports 56 traffic.
It's pretty busy right now. We would expect trying to get up through Midtown, especially on 240, working your way southbound down towards Norris. As you further south you go of Memphis, we've had to deal with some radar, so be careful down in certain parts of DeSoto County, down 7 sections of I-55 as traffic cranks up now 240 on to 385 Bill Morris Parkway going outbound. Weimer's Jewelry, your full-service family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. Stop by and see them tonight at Weimer's Jewelry out there on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
And she says, I wish that I could be like the cool kids, 'cause all the cool kids.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Brian and Brett with you, and we got to preview this Ole Miss game over the weekend. It's a big one on the road against Georgia. We know what happened last year when these two teams met. It was a win for Ole Miss, and it was the Austin Simmons drive that really got a ton of people that weren't already excited about him, excited about what he would do in the future. Now we know this injury has kept him out a while, but a big game on Saturday as Georgia, they're going to look for some revenge at home.
Yeah, third straight year to be playing Coach Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs. 2 years ago, they put one on Ole Miss, and it really changed Lane's worldview of, we've made a lot of progress here. We got a long way to go and had to get even more serious in the NIL and go get better players, and did, and had the big win last year over Georgia. And Ole Miss and Georgia will play again next year in Oxford with the scheduling, then take 27 off, and Ole Miss will go back to Athens in 28. They played every year from 1966 through 2002, and then the SEC scheduling changed. Ole Miss hadn't won back-to-back over Georgia since the 95-96 years. Got that first one in 95 down there. In Oxford, and then went down there, kind of like trying to do it this time. If you're going to get the back-to-back, you got to start somewhere. Started last year in Oxford and trying to get it this year.
Halfway there.
Brian, it's hard for me to believe that Kirby Smart's Georgia Bulldogs are going to lose at home in two of its last three Sanford Stadium games.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I think that's a lot of credit to the culture that they've built there, obviously what Kirby Smart has done there. I think it's tough no matter what when you go down there and you face this Georgia team. At home, on the road, wherever you're facing a Kirby Smart team, it's going to be tough. So, it's certainly not going to be easy, and, obviously – the Kentucky game, unfortunate for Kentucky. That one is one that I think a lot of teams just write down a W. You feel good about it, especially when you're Georgia. But the last time they had a ranked opponent at home, it was that Alabama game, and it was a game that Alabama won. And so now you've got a top 10 team, the number 5 team in the country, and Ole Miss coming into your stadium. Yeah, they're going to be ready not only to get payback for last year, but to get that ranked win at home, because that's the these are the only two so far ranked teams that they've played at home this season, Alabama and now Ole Miss. So they're definitely going to be looking to get that ranked win at home.
And for the Bulldogs, not at home again until November 15th against Texas. They will have open date and then cocktail party and then the Jack Crystal Bowl. Dogs versus dogs in Starkville.
That's right. Yeah. So it's going to be a while before they're back at home. I think that's even more to the fact of getting ready to play and getting a win in front of those home fans. So it's gonna be tough for Ole Miss. It's not going to be easy, but you got to be impressed with what you've seen from Ole Miss this year. We talked a lot about last week's game against Washington State. Very weird game, very weird how it played out, and you got the win, and you move on, and now that was the game, Brett, and I think it's overblown at times of, there are games that you got to get guys up for, and games you don't have to get guys up for. If you're going to be stereotypical about it, the Washington State game is a game where you got to really try to get the guys up for. Georgia, you're not going to have a problem with anybody in that locker room trying to get them up against the Georgia Bulldogs, and I think they're going to be ready to go, and I think it's going to be a fun game.
Yeah, that first drive just went almost kind of, the lane, whatever quarterback it's been, Matt Corral, Jackson Dart, Austin Simmons, Trinidad Chambliss. Just came out, everything clicking. Wanted to run, you ran. You wanted to throw, you throw. You wanted Chambliss to scramble, it was there. Then bogged down, and that gave Washington State a lot of energy. Look, and on the student section and students were still there. They made a lot of that.
He did,
but
he always does.
He does. He notices everything.
Yeah,
it matters to him.
That's
It
right.
really matters to him, and he wants those players feeling that appreciation and that recognition. And for a lot of Ole Miss fans, wherever you see this game written up and you see the rankings, get a screenshot of this. How often is this going to come around? Going to Athens in October, and Ole Miss is 5th, and Georgia is 9th.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
That's hard.
We talk about it a lot with, obviously here locally with the Tigers, whether it's been with football or basketball in the past, of getting people out there, of go and support this team. They're really good. Especially at Ole Miss, when you've got a top 10 team, right now the number 5 team in the country. Of course, you're going to want those students out there, and they should be out there supporting the team. So no, I have no issue with Lane Kiffin at all. Noticing that and wanting to bring attention to it, because I think it's important.
And he's not going to sit idly by and quietly by. He's going to speak. Georgia, they rank 5th nationally in red zone defense, allowing just 67 points scored just 67% of the time. Ole Miss always pretty good once they crack into that, at least tacking on a field goal, getting something out of it. The Bulldogs are -1 in turnover margin. Ole Miss -4. Georgia with 8 sacks and only allowed 8 this year. Ole Miss with 9 sacks, only allowed 7. I think you got to get to the quarterback, and that's what Ole Miss did last year. Carson Beck still having nightmares about J.J. Pegues, Nolan, and Princely, Umana-Mielen.
Yeah, no, and you're right. It all starts with that. You got to get pressure on this Georgia team, on this Georgia quarterback, and you can't have empty possessions. You talked about that first drive against Washington State last week, and it wasn't just the first drive. It was the second drive and the third drive where you were in position to score, whether it was a touchdown or a field goal, and you came up short. You certainly can't do that on the road against any team in the SEC, certainly not against Georgia. So definitely want to come out fast and want to capitalize on those opportunities.
For confidence.
Yeah, absolutely.
For confidence. It's one of the lamest breakdowns of a game, the whole playing from ahead. Of course, that makes it a lot easier. Every golfer wants to birdie the first hole, makes it a lot easier. But I do think with Trinidad Chambliss, and there are people out there with the first bit of unease about him, of wondering, is it getting close to midnight? Does he really have it in these kind of games? And I think it's obvious that he's better when he's playing from ahead. If you're going to ask him to get down 10 or 14 on the road,
tough.
Get on that right plant foot and try to throw it around, 40, 45, 50 times. Well, that's hard for anyone. That would be hard for Austin Simmons. That'd be hard for Jackson Dart. That'd be hard for Matt Corral. That'd be hard for Eli Manning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's a tough ask for any quarterback that has ever played the game of football, and that is a really
same
tough
on the other
ask.
side for Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
It's why I think both teams are going to want to establish that run. I think Georgia's going to want to line up and try to pound Ole Miss. They saw Washington State run it successfully. They saw Arkansas run it successfully. They saw at times Kentucky run it successfully. Georgia has not allowed a running back or anybody, running back or quarterback, to rush for more than 60 yards.
Wow.
So Kawan Lacey, he's got to do that. And then I think Georgia, they want to get, 2nd and 3, third and 1, get it cozy for Gunnar Stockton.
Yeah, no, I absolutely do. And you talk about Kawan Lacey. He had the big game last week against Washington State. 142 rushing yards, and he's been pretty good this year. 3 games with over 100 yards rushing. So if you can get him going and get him going early against this Georgia team, I definitely think that helps you out a lot. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of eyes on Trinidad Chambliss. Like you said, it feels like every week it's the question of, can he do it? Can he do it? Can he do it? LSU, it was okay. We've seen him do it against a couple teams, but now
it started
a
little
LSU.
slow against LSU.
Sure, yeah.
There was some pause early in that.
There
like,
definitely was.
It was fun while it lasted. Then it came back on again.
Then he turned it on and looked really, really good. Obviously, after you squeak one out against Washington State, there's going to be questions out there. And now when you're playing Georgia, there will really be questions. But I think he has shown that he can step up for the big moment. In the large sample size, of course, but he has shown it so far. And so I think this is another good opportunity for him to go out and have another really impressive game. And we'll see if he can do it. I mean, again, this is a good Georgia defense, so it's going to be tough. But we were saying the same thing about LSU. That was a tough LSU defense. And like you said, slow start, but really was able to turn it around and put together a really nice game.
I think Ole Miss caught a break having this as an afternoon game.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I know what happened 2 years ago at night.
Yes, yeah, no. You keep talking about it. The first time I think you brought that up this week, and you said Georgia 2 years ago really put it to Ole Miss. I was like, I don't really remember that game very well, but I remember it very well now because I know exactly where I was. I had to go to a wedding shower or engagement party or something like that that night.
That?
Well, it wasn't anybody I knew. I can assure you that. It was one of Melinda's sorority sisters, and had it on the TV. Left there, went to dinner, walked by the place I was at, had a TV like in the lobby or something. Walked by it, looked at the score, and said, "All right, I'm not missing much." So
it was quickly 7-0 Ole Miss. And,
it was
kind of fist pump, but yeah. And Brian, all week I loved Ole Miss to pull the upset. And thought it was the time to do it, and had Jackson Dart, had Quinshon Judkins. Quinshon, I think, scored the first touchdown. Georgia matched that first touchdown. I mean, like in 3 plays, and it was like Ole Miss wasn't even out there. So okay, okay,
let's get back out there. More points on the board.
Did and marched right down. Got 14. All right, okay, and then from there,
and then it was over.
It was a team that I thought was going to win it all. They lost to Bama in the SEC championship game. We'll never know. I still say they would have beat Michigan. Michigan got a break getting Bama after Bama won the SEC championship game. I thought Georgia's best team in the country 2 years ago.
No, I think you're right about that. But no, I think and I think you can say about a lot. Sometimes you just go out there and the better team, has a great day and goes out there and wins by a lot. But I do think Lane Kiffin is going to remember, hey, last time I was here, and obviously a lot of different pieces to that team, but last time I was here, I got embarrassed by this Georgia team, and we're not going to let that happen again, so I'm sure he's going to be fired up and
he is
ready
a
to go.
learner.
He is.
I mean, from a stumble, from a game, from how you handle adversity, he has really learned. And 2 years ago, it was the wake-up call. If we're going to do this at Ole Miss, this is what we got to do. And with the collective and the fundraising, able to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we get to a break here, what do you think about Gunnar Stockton? I don't know if we've talked about Gunnar Stockton much.
Boy, you're not going to get me to say that on Memphis radio, and then he goes for 375 and 3 touchdowns on Saturday.
You're right.
I want to see him in person.
Yeah.
I don't think he is as talented as a lot of Kirby quarterbacks that Kirby's already had, but he has showed some moxie. Coming in in relief last year in the SEC championship game to to beat Texas, and I thought was valiant in the national semifinals against Notre Dame. But there's a difference between valiant and wildly talented. I'm ready to see him in person, but I'm not about to fill in the blank.
I'll go ahead and fill in the blank for myself because you're right. I do not want to get you in trouble, but I am excited to hear what you see in person from him. Because
I think he's Fran Tarkin reincarnated. That's what I think.
He's the best. I'm terrified.
I don't know how you're going to be able to hold him under 475.
That's right. I just haven't. I think you go back to what he showed when he.
I think he's just good.
Year.
That's it.
I think that's what it is. I think. He came out, like you said, showed a lot of moxie. It was, who is this kid? And, man, he's got some guts out there as the backup quarterback in this big spot. But, I don't know, watching him this year, I'm just not super sold on him. But I am excited to hear what you see from him.
Ole Miss, they've seen Taylor Green. They've seen Garrett Nussmeier. You saw Retzlaff with Tulane. Boy, for a guy that wasn't going to say anything, I think all those guys are better.
We better get to a break before you you really say something that's gonna sting, and we're gonna have to run back next week. But I think gonna be a really, really good game. I mean, one of a handful of big time games that we'll have on Saturday. But let's get to another break, and when we return, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With over 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
Life's too short to blend in, so embrace your extraordinary style today at Sissy's Log Cabin. From everyday pieces to statement jewelry, you'll find something here for every occasion. Celebrate with exquisite quality, brilliant natural diamonds, and unmatched service you'll only find at Sissy's when you stop by any of our 7 locations or shop online at sissyslogcabin.com. You deserve the style of your dreams, and you'll find it at Sissy's Log Cabin.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Brownie, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
If you love sports and Mexican food, you can get the best of both at Los Cabos Mexican Bar and Grill on Summer near Graham. Watch all the big games on all the big TVs on all the walls at Los Cabos. And enjoy premium tequila shots anytime for just $5.50. Celebrate every day with lunch specials from 10 to 3 and happy hour from 3 to 8. Lunch is just $6.75 to $10.99 and margaritas start at $3.99. Experience real Mexican cuisine along with great sports at Los Cabos on Summer near Graham.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner. Maybe start with an appetizer like our baked sweet piquilla peppers stuffed with goat cheese and mozzarella, finished with basil pistou, and move on to one of our cozy dishes like the double chocolate stout braised boneless beef short ribs with tonkatsu sauce and creamy mashed potatoes, or a fresh seafood dish like our pan-roasted ginger buttered sea bass with cilantro soy vinaigrette. I get hungry just talking about it. Don't forget about dessert, our famous sweet buttermilk pie with brown sugar sauce, or drink your dessert with one of our signature dessert cocktails, like the lemon cheesecake martini, lemony, icy, frothy, and dusted with graham cracker crumbs. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us. We can't wait to serve you.
Congratulations to Napa Cafe, celebrating 27 years of great food and service for you. Napa Cafe.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roofing. I have been told that my ads are all business and I should share some of my personality. Okay, I love tongue twisters, like the one about the terrific tasting toast by Taste Tester Toaster, or Big Black Bugs, Bleed Blue Blood, and of course Sally and her seashells. Or of course the ever-present I'm a Mother Pheasant Plucker, I Pluck Mother Pheasants. Okay, enough of that. If you want an honest, fair, reasonable roofing, siding, or gutter estimate, call 5-Ash Roofing at 367-0050. That's exactly what you'll get. No empty promises, no high-pressure sales tactics, and no fast-talking salesman trying to convince you that today and only today is the best day for you to get a new roof. For the record, the best day to get a new roof is when you're ready for one. 5-Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Brett, my big number today is the number 51. The Toronto Blue Jays have scored 51 runs and hit 15 homers in their 7 postseason games this season. The only other team in Major League Baseball history with 50 or more runs and 15 or more home runs in any 7-game span in a single postseason was the Boston Red Sox in 2021. Hey, Toronto, let's stop scoring all these runs. You had your fun. Let's just hang it up.
Red Sox didn't win it that year either.
That's true. That's a good point.
I thought you were going. When you said Boston Red Sox, I just knew like 2018
Yeah.
was getting ready to be there.
Yeah, that's what when I saw this stat and
Or 19.
I saw Red Sox before I saw the year, and I figured it would be 2018.
Maybe even Poppy and crew in
Sure.
2013. I've been around it all day today. My big number, and ode to Johnny Hill, 39.5, 39.5. That's the Vegas over and under for the Grizzlies this year. Win total, over and under 39.5. A year ago, it was 47.5. I picked 48 last year and just got there. 8 less this year. We're going to do our picks next Wednesday, and I'm going to be right around that number. Vegas is not going to miss it much.
No, I don't think so. I mean, we talk about it all the time. Brett, Vegas is very good at what they do.
Very serious about it.
Very serious. There's a reason that
Utah Jazz, 18.5.
All right. Yeah, you know what? I think it's probably a pretty good spot for them. I don't think
Anybody, that's the lowest, 18.5. So if anybody's going to go for the futility record of 9 by the 76ers in 73, it'll have to be them. Washington, 20.5. They were 20.5 last year.
Brett, I'm going to bet that. I'm telling you right now, I'm betting that. I'm taking the over
The
on
low?
that. No, I'm taking the over on that.
Over on Washington?
Oh, absolutely. I'm absolutely taking Washington over.
Detroit Pistons last year, 25.5. This year, 46.5.
Good for them. Good for Detroit. Oh, that's awesome.
Atlanta, 30. Atlanta, 35.5
that you have to
last
win
year,
for
47
Washington.
this
Say
year.
that again. I'm sorry, Brett.
Atlanta, 35.5 last year, 47.5 this year.
No, that makes sense. They had the big offseason that everyone talks about.
Everything with the hook. No pushes.
No, absolutely. You got to have that hook in there. But, yeah, Brett, I'm betting that right now. You give me – you just got to win 21 games? I mean, that's crazy. It's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say
At
I can go
82.
out there and win 21 games, but I don't know. I feel like that Washington team's good enough to do that.
And when will be the next time it's this low for the San Antonio Spurs? Last year, 35.5. This year, 44.5. They're going to be in the 50s from now through the end of Wembley.
Oh, yeah. No, this is the last time you're going to see that with what they're doing. And not just him. All the other young guys that they have put around him as these kind of supporting pieces. And, Dylan Harper and Castle and some of these guys that they've brought in. Obviously, they've brought in some veterans as well and have already had some veterans on that team. It's only going to go up.
Done a lot of smart things. The highest, the champs, Oklahoma City at 62.5. Last year they were 56.5.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. Do you know where Milwaukee was last year?
Milwaukee was 49.5 last year. This year, 42.5.
Yeah, okay. I figured when I saw 42.5 that was lower. I didn't know how much lower that was from last year.
Clippers one more than Lakers, 47.5.
Oh, wow.
Lakers 46.5. I attribute it all to not sharing the same building. A kid. That has nothing to do with it.
Brett, I think you're on something. I think it
Into
absolutely
it dome
has
doesn't
something.
mean they're not that into it, are they?
Oh, Brett, they've got the wall. It's basically like a student section out there. I mean, their fans get after it.
They got a show place.
They certainly do. Yep.
And that was by design too. They wanted to top the big bad Lakers.
Absolutely.
Lakers last year 43.5. This year 46.5. I didn't realize last year was that low.
Yeah, I didn't either. But I guess when you have Luka and LeBron, then that's
should jump
that goes
things up.
Yeah,
It's good for business.
Yeah, but we know LeBron won't be there to start the season, so and who knows how long he'll be out. But they're certainly going to miss him, I would think.
Wednesday night's opponent, New Orleans, last year 45.5. This year 30.5.
Ooh, man.
Got to start 1-0.
Got to start 1-0. What is Phoenix? What is Phoenix at this year?
Phoenix 31.5. Last year 47.5. Things have really changed.
Things have really changed. Yeah, when you don't have Kevin Durant on your team anymore, or Bradley Beal on your team, that certainly tanks the win
slam shut.
Slam shut. And that's why when
when's the next time it opens for them?
That's a very good question. And now, we talked about it with Keith, and I had to be very clear when I was talking with Keith. I don't necessarily think that the Suns are going to be good. I think they can be fun to watch, but I don't think they're going to be very good. A lot of Grizzly fans going to be watching the Suns in some of those late night games this season because the Grizzlies will have that draft pick next year. So I know a lot of Grizzly fans hoping that the Suns are bad this year.
Brian, I agree. I think they'll be fun to watch, but we know what makes it more fun: winning.
But when I don't have any skin in the game, I can enjoy
True.
it. Those fans can't, but
Kick
I
back.
can. Yeah, Brett, as someone that beamed to a college football game last night, that they had a combined one win, and there were 600 people in attendance to it. I don't know if I play by the rules. So.
You're overdoing it. There was no way it was 600.
Brett, that'll go back to that was the announced attendance
Yeah.
was 600. But I saw a video of that game last night of somebody who was there and they were just showing their phone around. I couldn't recognize where they were at. I was like, what game were they
seats.
at? Oh, everywhere.
Galore, crushed.
Everywhere. I mean, it was really, really bad to see. But let's go ahead and wrap up this second hour, get to another break, and when we return, we're talking Tigers. Greg Gaston, he joins us next.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar-based. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to baste or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef. And she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper was more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
Family leisure doesn't do anything small. It's always got to be big, just like the world's biggest spa sale. Happening right now at Family Leisure. Check this out. You can get spas starting under $3,000. Spas and even swim spas, they're up to 30% off. Floor model spas have even bigger special prices. Cold plunges are all the trend right now. Take the plunge starting under $5,000. You see a patio furniture set you like? You could get a free umbrella with it. Ask an associate for details. Plus, swimming pools are clearance price now through the end of October. Get yours before the prices increase. That is with any big sale. Special financing, it's available. The only thing small during the world's biggest spa sale at Family Leisure are the prices. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Hit the road in your new ride from Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike and check out our new location at 1956 Covington Pike. 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, standard third row, better warranty, and 0% for 60 months available versus 4.99 for 60 months on RAV4 PHEV. That's 2025 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross or Outlander PHEV, your choice, now $399 a month. Plus 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander, 7-seat capacity, more head and leg room, and longer warranty than Toyota RAV4. Get yours for $449 a month or buy it for $29,715. And always find peace of mind with our 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1956 Covington Pike and 24/7 at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Outlander SEO 14178, MSRP 32715, Eclipse SEO 39973, MSRP 317, PHEV SC 00816, MSRP 42615, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 895, 595 acquisition fee, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and skip the regular line at the airport and pay for speedy security. Imagine not having to quickly unpack and pack at the place you already came packed to. And wearing your shoes the whole time you're there? You can't put a price on that kind of luxury. Well, actually you can, and you paid for it. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for speedy security. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
This traffic report is brought to you by Millington Weight Loss. For more information, call 901-436-0272.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's got a little bit heavier through Midtown just in the last couple of minutes on 240 South and South Parkway. Still moving at the moment. 240 East here at Mill Branch, all the way out to 385 as you get onto Billboards Parkway going outbound. It's only going to get heavier. Zips Car Wash, that's where I go, and so should you. Get upgraded shine and protection at your local Zips Car Wash. Check out zipscarwash.com for a location close to you. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Memphis's original sports station. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back in Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we start our third and final hour on this Thursday afternoon. We got to talk Tigers, Tiger football, Tiger basketball with Ballin' on Beal getting started here in a little bit later tonight downtown. So a lot to get to. We do it every Thursday with Greg Gaston.
From the Tigers sideline, it's Tigers Talk with Memphis broadcasting legend Greg Gaston. Hear Greg weekday mornings on Sports 56 Mornings, along with Eli Savoy from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. On Twitter X at Greg_Gaston. Here's Greg with Bryant and Brett.
Greg Gaston joins us now to talk Tigers. Greg, thanks so much for joining us. A lot to talk about this afternoon, but let's talk about this football team as they're back in action Saturday against UAB. It will be a UAB team with an interim head coach after they decided to part ways with Trent Dilfer on Sunday. With the open date last week, now getting back to action, what do you expect? I mean, I think that number is moving around. I know yesterday or earlier this week it was at 20.5, Memphis favored. It maybe has moved up to 21.5 now. But what do you expect on Saturday for the Tigers?
Good afternoon, guys. I actually saw it at 22.5 earlier today. Yeah, it's a whopping line. It's a big number, but it's understandable the way Memphis has played, especially on defense, and what UAB has done defensively, which has been pretty poor. And against the rush, they're really bad. One of the worst teams in the nation. You look at what Memphis does running the ball. So you can understand why Memphis is a heavy favorite. But that's the old rat poison that Coach Nick Saban talks about a lot. And Memphis is not about to inhale any of that. They are focused. They have been focused seemingly every single week this year. Camp, they were focused on that first game. After that game, they were focused on the second, and so on and so forth. They haven't looked ahead. They got the big one, of course, next weekend against South Florida. They understand if you slip up on this one, that takes away the significance of that next game and so on and so forth the rest of the season. So I think their focus has been good. I think it came – I personally believe the bye came at the right time. I talked to the coaches today. Ryan Silverfield echoed those sentiments. He thought it came at the right time. But I know they are not excited about having Trent Dilfer fired going into their game. They're not real excited about that because you don't know what's going to happen now. You don't know what Mortenson's going to try to do, what their DC, maybe who was limited on what he could do via the head coach and his instructions, maybe he does some different things. So you got to expect the unexpected when you're going up against UAB, and you have nothing to lose if you're the Blazers, right? And that's what Mortensen said about his players this week. He says, go out there, put the best tape you can put together. If you want to stay with us next year, that'll be great, and who knows where Mortensen will be, if we'll get the job on a permanent basis or not, or if you're going to go into the portal. You want to have your best plays available to other teams as well. So he was very honest and open and transparent with that news. But for Memphis, look, you knew what you were getting with Dilfer. Now you can expect the unexpected when you go into this game on Saturday against the interim head coach.
Greg, this year for the Tigers, except for moments in the Arkansas game, they were largely expected. There hadn't been very many look out, we're in trouble moments. It has gone fairly swimmingly.
Yeah, not a lot of hiccups. And look, there's a couple of things. The caliber of competition is certainly not the stiffest. It's going to be a lot tougher now, especially in conference. But the Arkansas game was a big challenge, and they passed that test. But I think it's because of the focus. I've talked a number of times with you guys about what Coach Silverfield said to us. He said he's never had a team that has been bought in like every second of the day, every week. Certainly, they're not looking ahead. They know that the ultimate goal is to get to the conference championship, and then who knows what could happen if you win that championship game. More than likely, you would be in the playoff this year, the way things are shaping up. So the focus has been really, really extraordinary. There hasn't been letdowns. If there's a game on the schedule, you look ahead to maybe Rice and Houston as a possible letdown. I don't think this week, because you're coming off the bye, you're excited about it's a rivalry, yes, the battle for the bones and all that. But I don't think there's going to be a letdown in any single game. It's just that they're made with a different DNA, these guys. They're all bought in. All I keep hearing from the coaches, whether it's Coach Hankins, whether it's Coach Cramsey, is the intelligence of these guys, how locked in they are, how mature they are, and that's what you want. You want that continuity, you want that togetherness. And we see it with a number of teams that are successful, and that's what Memphis has been so far this year.
Yeah, no, it has been really fun to watch, and I think it's been even more impressive when you look at all of the turnover that this team has had. The fact that they have been able to come together like they have and be ready for the season as early as they were, I think is really impressive to see from this team. So, what should we be worried about with this UAB team on Saturday?
I don't think you should be worried about anything, but here's the deal. UAB averages about 30 points a game. They can score. Their quarterback is John Kitna's son, and he can throw the ball. He can spin it. There's no question that they have some offensive skill position guys with speed, and they will throw out the kitchen sink. Don't be surprised if you see a double reverse, chuck it back to the quarterback, throw it down the field. You're going to see all kinds of things from that offense. And don't be alarmed if they score some points early. But the way Memphis has been able to counter a mistake, which are very rare, but we've seen a few. They've been able to figure out what the team is doing, and then they are able to analyze that very quickly and then make the proper changes that they need to make. But I think UAB will probably present a couple of issues with that offense and that speed game. But I think Memphis, the way they play defense, they'll figure it out, and they'll keep it. I think they'll be able to handle what UAB is trying to do. But don't be surprised, again, if UAB scores and maybe scores early, and then you think, oh, wow, we could have a real close game. I think Memphis, the way they wear down teams with their depth in the second half, controls this game. They're going to be able to run it, and if they want to put 8 in the box, then they'll pass the ball like they did against Tulsa. The Memphis offense has a lot more diversity. I'm not going to sit there and say it was better because, Hennigan was a great quarterback, but there's diversity. You can do a lot more different things than you could basically with Seth because Seth wasn't a polished runner. He would run by necessity, but you guys know that. He was more of a pocket passer. And that's what Kitten is, but when he gets out of the pocket, they'll move the line for protection. But if he gets out of the pocket, he'll run. Well, with Lewis, he's running. There's designed plays for Lewis, and that added wrinkle has been huge so far for the Tigers and to keep defenses and defensive coordinators up all night trying to figure out how to attack Memphis.
And when he runs it, he's bringing it. It's not a shot at Seth Hennigan. It's a big-bodied guy coming at you.
He is not afraid to absorb contact, and he's laying the lumber sometimes on the opponents. Now, you hold your breath. If you're Ryan Silverfield or Tim Cramsey, you don't want to see your quarterback doing that. But when he has to, he does it. And when he needs to get that extra push for the first down, he's able to do so. He's not ducking out of bounds and avoiding contact. I'd like to see him go down a little bit earlier when there's a chance to avoid the contact. But, I mean, you're not going to stop a guy if that's the way he's always played. And I think Lewis brings that to the table. He is really hard-nosed. He's a big guy. He's not humongous. And we've seen him get whacked a couple of times, especially on that shoulder. I think there's been 2. But that was not him running getting hurt. That was him getting hit as a drop-back quarterback and getting drilled by a defender. So he has been able to bounce back from a couple of those hits. He's just really, really tough, and I like that about him.
Greg, at the halfway point, if we had the GGs, if we had the awards at the halfway point that you handed out, wouldn't we hand out Play of the Year for the Tigers to his backup, to Arrington Maiden and that keeper against Arkansas?
There would have to be a special award for Arrington Maiden. There's no doubt about it.
The GG, that's what we should do.
The GGs, but that was special. That was a great moment for that young man, and they needed every bit of that. They needed all of that and more from that great run from Arrington Hayden and the luck they got with the ball bouncing their way. And sometimes, often in fact, you'll need a little bit of luck along the way.
Every time.
No matter who you are, right? If you're going to have success and win conference championships and go to the playoff, you're going to have that ball bounce your way. Look at Georgia. You're getting ready to head to Athens, Brett, of course, for the Ole Miss Georgia game. Look at Georgia getting some breaks. Sometimes it's breaks from the officials. Sometimes it's the ball bouncing into your hand. Sometimes the ball bouncing out of bounds where the defense can't get it on a turnover. You have to have a little bit of luck. And, Memphis certainly got that luck given to them, but they took advantage of it, and then they went out there and Arrington made a play. So maybe, just maybe, they won't need as much of that down the road. But if they do, maybe it'll fall their way once again.
Greg, we can remember a year a team needed some luck and got 5 downs to do it in.
Yeah, there's a lot of things we remember, Brett. We remember, unfortunately, the 4th and 27, the Gaduli, as I like to call it, for Cincinnati. If you want craziness, go back over the history of college football, and you will see craziness. But Colorado and all that. Obviously, there's been some wackiness in football, and sometimes you got to make your luck. You got to make your luck. You got to be able to be in the right place at the right time. But you have to be dialed in, and this Memphis team right now is absolutely dialed in.
And Saturday's not a day of luck. Saturday's about going out and pounding someone.
Pound them, get it over early, get some of those other guys in there, because you want to be as healthy as you are now going into this game after the break. You want to be that healthy going into the South Florida game. Let's be honest. if you can get those guys throughout and after 3 quarters, and Ryan likes to play those guys. He doesn't like to sub too much, but we've seen the depth of this team take over in second halves of games. So they're not afraid to bring in backups at any position. So you would love to be in that position this Saturday down in Birmingham.
Isn't it something? Memphis are 21.5-point favorite. Same thing, South Florida. They got to do their part against FAU to set up a potential spectacular week next week.
Look, it's going to be a huge game. Even if game day doesn't come to Memphis, that will only add to it, but it's going to be big. Hopefully that is a sellout at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. I'll be very disappointed if it's not. We're not talking about 65 or 70,000. That game is going to be pivotal. What Brown and company can do with that offense, they are hard hitters on defense. They got a young coach who's moving up the ranks. I mean, to put 63 up on North Texas while turning it over 3 times early tells you how potent that offense is. Remember, Memphis beat them last year, but they beat them without Byron Brown. He wasn't able to go in that game that was moved from Tampa to Orlando. I'm not saying they wouldn't have won that game, but very, very much different when you have a big NFL caliber type quarterback in Byron Brown, who is going to be a handful for Memphis next weekend.
I know the departments, they're on go, but from what you hear from your friends in administration and around the department, is game day, is it a chance?
I think there's a chance. I really do. I'm not going to sit here and say I have inside information because I do not. I know that conversations have taken place, so you know there's interest from ESPN's side, from their point of view. I don't think the 11 o'clock kickoff makes a difference, although I think the locale will change from where it was in 2019.
That's what we need. We need spies out at the stadium to see if the site survey team's out there checking things out this week.
Absolutely. Although I do believe we will find out probably Saturday night. I don't think we'll even have to wait till Sunday. That's what I'm hearing. I don't know if that'll be made public, but I think the university would probably hear something sometime Saturday night if that's going to be the case.
Greg, one more thing on the UAB game, and then I do want to get to some Tiger basketball, especially with Ballin' on Beal happening tonight. But I'm going to steal a prediction from Jonah Dillon that he made before the Tulsa game. I'm going to repackage it and reuse it. He said in his write-up for his prediction of the Tulsa game that both running back Sutton Smith and Greg Duosier would both have over 100 yards rushing against Tulsa. I think this is the game against UAB. You mentioned it, the way that teams have ran against UAB. I think this is the game where both Sutton Smith and Greg Duosier both go over 100. You look at this run defense, it feels like it is very gettable against UAB, and it feels like we could see a lot of that run game on Saturday. I mean, you look at this. Every single team has gotten at least 140 yards or more. 4 of the 6 teams they've played 200 yards or more on the ground. We could see a lot of that run game on Saturday.
Absolutely. You're right on top of it. Against Tulsa, now Tulsa came out. They tried to put the extra man in the box. They tried to double Bram. So it left open receivers. It left guys like Hawkins to be able to dominate. And so they took a chance, they rolled the dice, and it came up craps. So Memphis was able to throw the ball effectively. That was the most effective game with Lewis throwing the ball because he had the most attempts and he had the most yards. So to Jonah, with Jonah's point, I understand that, but they went ahead and they tried to stop the run, and they did a pretty good job against that. But you're playing with fire there. You try to stop the run, you go all out to do that, well, then Lewis can burn you. Well, I think you're absolutely right against a UAB. I can tell you right now, they are probably going crazy trying to figure out what they're going to do against this Memphis offense. We could easily see, because just average-wise, Memphis is averaging, about 250, and they're giving up they're one of the worst in the country. So if they go all out to try to stop the rush, oh, my gosh, Lewis is going to have a field day throwing the ball. They have weak safeties. They can really pick on these guys. But I would bet you are more right in this scenario here in Birmingham, or Saturday in Birmingham, that there could be a chance that those two guys run wild. And don't forget Lewis, because it's a 3-headed monster. The only thing that keeps Lewis from those 100-yard games is the sack yardage that comes off his rushing, which I think is not fair. But, yeah, I think they're going to have a huge game, those guys.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Talking about some basketball tonight, balling on Beal, but I know yesterday y'all had Penny Hardaway on the show, Sports 56 Mornings. What were your takeaways from what Penny Hardaway told you and Eli?
I really liked our conversation with Penny.
I loved
and I
it.
think,
It was really good.
oh, thank you, Brad.
Straight as a pen. Coach was great.
I think he would admit it, right? He's matured as a coach. Now, a couple of years ago, he would take offense to anybody questioning the lack of production or anything. He knows where they stand. He knows that the last couple of years have been really good years as far as big wins against top 25 teams and the conference championships and things of that nature. He also knows that they have not really accomplished anything in the postseason as far as the NCAA tournament. The conference tournament is a different story. So he knows what they have to do, and he's been very mature in answering those questions, and I really appreciate Penny coming on and talking to us as long as he did. He's really excited about this roster. It's easy for us not to get excited because we don't know these guys. Let's be frank. We don't know these guys. We will soon learn about these guys. I got to give him the benefit of the doubt. I just don't know. These are players that have had experience, some limited, and the production has not been there. But that doesn't mean that they can't, in this new change of scenery, produce and play all together as one unit. That's what they have to have, first of all, is that chemistry that I talked about with the football team. But I don't know. I just think right now that the jury is still out, but he really likes this roster. Also, we couldn't talk about the new hires for the staff because the school hadn't made it official, so I wasn't going to ask him when I was told not to. I'm not going to, burn a bridge here. That's foolish to do because, what's he going to say? But, I think Roy Rogers, look, he may not have college coaching experience, but he has NBA coaching experience out the yin-yang and played at Alabama. He's a big man. I think that will help in the development of all those bigs that Penny brought in late in the summer that have various amounts of experience and some come from outside the United States. I think that was a great hire, in my opinion, to have an actual big man. Penny's done great in developing the players, but Penny's not a big man. He's a big guard, but he's not a big man. And I think these big guys will learn a lot from a guy like Roy Rogers. So I think that was a solid hire. But I'm excited to see them. Obviously, you get a little sneak peek tonight, a little taste. But when they play that exhibition game for the worthy cause of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, which will be a week from Monday, I'm really going to be curious to see the lineups he runs out there, the rotations he runs out there for that first of two exhibition games.
Greg, exciting times for the Tigers, isn't it?
It's been a good run, right? You think about some of these schools that are not so-called power conference schools with money, falling out of their pockets. Memphis, to be able to be successful in basketball and football, the revenue-earning programs, you got to be excited because normally it's one or the other or neither, right? You don't see many schools, even the power conferences, they're not all successful in both those sports. But Memphis to have the success in those two sports, then you throw in what's happening with women's soccer, which is a national power. That's just a little extra added bonus for Memphis sports fans. So, yeah, it is a good time right now. Look, the football team has to pay it off. They have to pay it off. They have to get to that championship game. And for basketball, not only the return to the NCAA tournament by winning the conference tournament championship, but doing some damage once they get there. So if that continues, obviously with the progression of the renovations over at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, things are good. I wish I could say that next year they're going to move into another conference, but that ain't happening.
We don't think so today, but we know how it moves fast. Next summer.
I feel, Brett, that it's going to happen. It's going to be several years. I really do believe it's going to happen. It's just not going to happen tomorrow. But if they continue to do what they're doing under the direction of Dr. Ed Scott, I feel really good. And Memphis fans should feel really good right now about where the athletic department stands.
Yeah. Good times for sure. Greg, you mentioned the conference championship game. It doesn't matter to me. Do you think it's imperative to host or just get in it?
I think just to get in it.
Me too.
I think just to get in it. I mean, I'm not going to take away bonus points if they end up having a loss here and they still earn a spot in the championship game and they have to go on the road. So be it. But
yeah, I don't want to move the goalpost on him. Just get in it.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
if it's out at the fairgrounds, then I'm sure the bonus in his contract, he'll take it.
Yeah, and it's nice because that's more revenue for the school to bring in folks to watch another home game. But look, wherever it is, let's just hope for their sake they get into it, because right now they have put themselves into the position that they need to be, and they have the schedule that's very, very advantageous, not because they're playing patsies, they're not, but they're playing the really good teams that they have to beat no matter where. They get to play them at home. So hopefully it is a huge home field advantage. That crowd really needs to pick up for these games that are going to be huge from here on out.
Yeah, well, it's going to be fun to see what they do this weekend against UAB and the rest of the season. Greg, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy Birmingham, and we'll talk to you again next Thursday.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Safe travels, Brett. I'll talk to you tomorrow on the show.
You got it. Look forward to it. Thank you, Greg.
Thanks, Greg. Greg Gaston joining us to talk Tigers like we do every single Thursday. And a reminder that segment, Talking Tigers with Greg Gaston, is brought to you every week by Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis. They have serious vans for serious work at 4430 American Way. They are the Mid-South source for cargo, passenger, crew vans, and custom chassis. Need one or a full fleet, new or used? Well, they've got you covered with fleet solutions and custom upfits. Certified techs, they keep you moving with fast maintenance, repairs, and a large parts inventory. Mercedes-Benz Van Center is your Sprinter van headquarters. Give them a call, 901-237-9302 or sprintervans.com. Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis, part of the Tag Truck Center family, driven to keep you on the road. Yeah, Brett, I think I'm with you and Greg. Obviously, it would be great if it's here in Memphis. Obviously, you would love to have it as a home game for the conference championship. That would certainly give you an edge playing in front of your home fans. But I mean, let's worry about getting to the conference championship game.
And that's what I predicted in preseason. 10-2, lost to Arkansas. That didn't happen. Lose to Tulane. Rematch, beat them at Yeoman, and be the champion and be the group of 5 team. That still could happen.
Yeah, it absolutely can. So they're putting themselves in a really good spot, and we know that some very important games coming up on the schedule, but all of them are at home, so you got to feel good about those. And but got to take care of business this weekend at UAB.
I'm going to talk about it as we close, but I'm going to keep an eye on East Carolina tonight because the Tigers go to Dowdy Ficklin late in the year. After a lot of these emotional games, I want to see exactly what East Carolina, where they stand.
Yeah, that's one that we all kind of talked about before the season when we were doing W's and L's of, hey, this is going to be a tricky game on the road, kind of in the middle of all of those big home games. So that's a really good observation by you, and yeah, definitely keep an eye on them tonight in their game. Well, before we get to a break, let me remind you about our 5 o'clock sponsor. It's Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Jaguar Bluff City has been the premier Jaguar dealership for the greater Memphis area since 1984, and their talented team is ready to help you find your next perfect vehicle at unbeatable rates. Swing by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City today and check out the new 2025 models like the 2025 Range Rover Sport, 2025 Range Rover Velar, and the 2025 Defender. Test drive the Range Rover Sport, where luxury meets performance. It's a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility with options ranging from 360 horsepower up to 635. It's also available as a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle with $7,500 federal tax credit when leased with approved credit. Take a look at the Range Rover Velar, powered by mild hybrid technology and enhanced with the latest well-being features and fully connected entertainment system. The Range Rover Velar is the ultimate luxury compact crossover. Purchase yours today and get special 4.4% for 72 months financing available with approved credit. Don't forget about the Defender, available in multiple models to fit your needs. The Defender is built for the modern explorer, and Jaguar Bluff City is offering special interest rates for 60 and 72 months on various models. Give them a call, 877-259-6169. Go online to jaguarbluffcity.com. But head out there, test drive these vehicles. 6335 Wheel Cove, just off of Quince for Bluff City Jaguar. Let's get to another break, and when we return, we'll talk about what's trending.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Get ready for the hottest basketball event of the fall. Memphis Madness presents Ballin' on Bill, sponsored by Campbell Clinic. Join us Thursday, October 16th at 6 o'clock at Handy Park and Bill Street for a night packed with fun, high-energy introductions, and your first look at this year's Memphis men's and women's basketball teams. Best of all, admission is free. Don't miss out on the excitement. For more information, visit GoTigersGo.com.
Scott Graham here from Thursday Night Football on Westwood One. Jason Benetti and Devin McCourty have the call as Week 6 of the season kicks off with NFC East action between the Eagles and the Giants. Philadelphia, the defending Super Bowl champions, are coming off their first loss of the season last week. Can they get their repeat hopes back on track? Find out on Thursday Night Football.
Right here on Sports 56.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Ready to shine, Memphis? Save big on Club Car Wash's Best Wash this Tuesday for just $12. Stop by any 4 club locations in Greater Memphis or visit clubcarwash.com to learn more.
Club Car Wash. Join the club.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
This traffic report brought to you by Salt Sports Bar and Bistro, 3101 South Mendenhall Road, where great food meets the big game.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's building pretty good right now. 40 eastbound over here at Germantown Parkway. All that traffic flow trying to get back out towards Fayette County, passing Chambers Chapel, Canada Road, mostly going eastbound on I-40. It's busy. 240 getting on to 385 Billmore's Parkway as that starts to crank up with more volume out towards Collierville. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. Stop by. See them tonight at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Here comes the Nero man. Says he's a people man.
About 30 minutes left in today's show. We got to talk about what's trending and what's trending today, Brett. We got Thursday Night Football back in our lives, and it's 2 old guys going at it. How about that?
Icy Hot Bowl.
Okay. That's one way to describe it, I guess. But it's something. I mean, a lot of I don't know. Retirement checks about to clear for those guys.
It's big to Pittsburgh.
No, it's huge for Pittsburgh, and I mean, they're in a good spot. What was it, yesterday or the day before we were talking about them, and they can really make up, put themselves some separation between these other teams in the division. And so far, they've played really, really well, and we'll see if that continues tonight against Cincinnati. But I'm also curious what Cincinnati looks like, especially with Joe Flacco back there. We know he was in there last week, and it was very quick, got traded, and immediately goes in there on Sundays, their starting quarterback. What does he look like with another week around the building, getting used to some of those weapons and really getting used to that playbook? Yeah, I mean, it's a short week, but I think any time added is good for a guy that just got in there. Week. That's right, yeah, for a guy that just got thrown in there, I'll take however many days you give me. So I think tonight could be one that could get a little weird.
It's not the game TV wanted, and it's not where Cincinnati wanted to be and where their head coach needed to be. A couple of 3-4 week bad run for him, he could be out before Burrow got back.
Yeah, this really is one of those games where you look at it before the season started. This looked like a great Thursday night football game. You got Aaron Rodgers on, maybe his last leg and his retirement tour starting, and then on the other side you got a young star and Joe Burrow at the quarterback position, and now because of injuries, it's going to be Joe Flacco and Aaron Rodgers against each other. Speaking of injuries, Memphian Calvin Austin going to miss tonight's game. He's out with injury. They were talking about that earlier today on NFL Network, which was cool to see. Calvin Austin,
makes it easier to double DK then.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But the what Calvin Austin has done since getting to the NFL and becoming a real piece of that Steelers team and of that wide receiver room. I was flipping around this morning and landed on NFL Network. I think it was Good Morning Football, and they had a whole segment where they were talking about tonight's game and injuries, and they had a little package of Calvin Austin and clips of him, and he's out tonight. And like what you said, they talked about being able to double DK with him being out, and so really cool to see Calvin Austin and the success he's had in the NFL.
What a football story his whole football existence has been.
That's right. Yeah, I mean it hadn't been easy, but he has certainly found ways and made the most of it. So I definitely hope we see him back on the field soon. But they're going to be missing him tonight.
Micah Parsons getting ready to part with some of his cash with his comments. He ran it on one-sided officiating and the tush push. Everybody except for Philadelphia's in agreement about the tush push. But everything he said, probably true.
Oh, yeah.
Probably accurate, probably needed to be said. It will get a fine, and it should.
Yeah.
You can't put these refs in these positions. Pat Smith talking about the SEC refs. We all saw it last week again. Like I talked about on Monday, human nature, human beings. If mistakes are going to occur, you can't go out and take a shot at them.
Right. Yeah. And I think he's got that fat new extension, so I don't think he'll be too worried about being fined. I'm sure he'll tell you it was worth it to pay that fine to get out that frustration. So I guess it's a win-win for everybody. But yeah, I mean, I think the tush push is definitely one that gets a lot of people going.
It's been officiated horribly.
Yeah, I mean it has, and I think a lot of people are starting to realize it and starting to wake up to it. And I think you've said it. I think we've talked about it. I think this upcoming off season, I think we'll have another vote, and I think it will be out of here.
It barely got through last year.
Yeah, no, it did, and so I'm ready for it to be out, and that's not me being biased. Before anybody starts calling me the Cowboys homer, I'm ready for it to be out of here.
I think it's an ultimate football play.
Sure.
Far and wide, football people will say it's about two things. Low man wins, hands inside win. Well, this is the low man winning play of all time.
Oh, yeah.
But I can see the defense. Don't we give the offense enough edge?
Yeah, well that and then
that's Parsons' rant.
Sure, and then you see these still images, and again, it's hard to tell in real time all of that, but you're seeing these still images of guys everywhere, offsides or getting early starts or whatever it might be, and so yeah, I'd be completely for it if it was done right and completely legal. But when I see these pictures and videos and all of this stuff. And very clearly it is not, then that's when I'm kind of like, all right, let's
How
get
come
it out of
nobody else has been able to come close to that level of pulling it off? I think it has to start with a battering ram quarterback.
Sure.
Jalen Hurts is that.
Yeah.
But so's Josh Allen. There are the big quarterbacks out there.
Yeah, I mean, there
Joe
are.
Burrow's no shrinking violet.
No, and I think, I
Lamar?
think. Yeah, I mean, you look at their offensive line. They've got some really good offensive linemen up there that I think are a big part of it as well. So I think it's a couple things, and I think it starts with personnel, and then I think it's also they just got out ahead of it and perfected it, and I think they
Practiced
know
it and got it down,
and they know how to run it, whether it's the right way or the illegal way or whatever it is. They know how to do it because they kind of invented it, and I think it's just other teams have found it kind of hard to implement.
And we thought, and he was a big part of it, Jason Kelsey, but they're now doing it with a newer cast and making it work. I don't like just because we don't like something outlaw it.
No, yeah, and that's kind of what I'm saying. Is like I'm completely fine
like
with
the
it.
shift in baseball.
Sure, I'm completely fine with it if everything's run the way it's supposed to run. But when I'm seeing all these pictures and videos of guys having an advantage because they're lined up, further offside or whatever it is, then that's when I don't like it. And I think we almost give this Eagles team a little too much credit because they have the tush push. And look, I'd like to see some other teams in the past run the tush push and see how much success they have with it, because I think
the Cowboys with Jimmy Johnson with Troy Aikman never ran the quarterback sneak. They didn't want his dome exposed to a hit.
No, that makes sense.
They never were a sneak team.
I don't blame them. But like you said, I think today's age, you got a lot more running quarterbacks and a lot
and
of.
you had Emmitt Smith.
Well, yeah.
Why are you sneaking with Troy Aikman?
Why worry about it? But no, I think we're gonna see it outlawed, and I'm excited about it because it's the Eagles. I'll be biased, guy. I don't
Dodgers
care.
are doing their thing again, aren't they?
Oh, we already started,
second.
didn't we?
Brewers got it tied up.
How about that? We're already in the second inning, Brett. Forgot about this game.
Put your game face on, Brian.
Had no idea. 1-1, top of the second. How about that? News to me, Brett.
Dodgers and that payroll, and that's all anybody's going to talk about if they win it.
Well, they are. I mean, let's just go ahead. I mean, let's all just go ahead and just crown them. And Dodgers going to win it.
They paid for it in March.
Yeah, they they got their money's worth. Good for them. But I've already convinced myself that the Dodgers have already won the World Series.
I haven't.
I wish I was you.
I want Seattle to pull it off.
Oh, believe me, I want Seattle to win it. But now I'm starting to worry that Seattle's not even going to get out of this round, and y'all are all going to owe me apologies, Brett.
Apologies will not be given, will they, Landon? No,
I'm afraid not.
No. Y'all should.
I was looking at today. I was at Baseball Ref, spent way too much time with a lot of other things
That can happen.
I needed to be doing. And I did not remember this. I was looking at Great Mariner players, and Ken Griffey's got to be at the top.
Of course.
I thought it was every single game in the show. He had a cup of coffee in the minors, and then as a 19-year-old played 127 games as a rookie.
Well, Brett, I think that can qualify as you didn't spend any time in the minors. You spent all your time in the majors.
Well, that's what got me on the search to find not a game in the minors. It's very few.
I was about to say it's. I'm sure that's very hard to find, but not many people fitting that criteria. Okay, Brett. Well, I'll go ahead and ask it since we have a couple more minutes left. I know this game's already started. It's already 1-1. Who wins these two games tonight?
I told you I'm doing all predictions on baseball on who I'm for. I'm for Milwaukee, so go Brewers. They pull it off tonight.
Okay.
I don't believe any of that.
Well, but hey, it's what you want. What about the second game, Toronto and Seattle?
Same thing.
Same
Go
thing.
Seattle. Be
I'm fine with
one
that.
game shy of baseball's promised land.
Now, Brett, have you heard of the controversy around the Mariners right now?
No. I know of no controversies.
Oh, Brett, it's getting...
Maybe I should have been reading the controversy site instead of Baseball Ref today.
It's getting quite divisive up in Seattle among the fan base. So over Humpty. Are you familiar with Humpty?
I got nothing on Humpty.
So, Brett, the Mariners, they have the...
Hard to put him back together after a big fall, though.
That's very true.
That's about all I got.
That's right. All these major league teams, they've got these runs where they've got the mascots out there dressed up like something, and they run around the outfield and someone wins. So the Mariners do that, but they have 3 fish that run and do this race. So one of the jokes of this race is there's the fish named Humpty, and he's kind of the klutzy one of the group, and he notably has never won a race. He never wins. That's the joke, is Humpty never wins. Friday night in the 15-inning thriller, they run one of the races. Well, now we're in the 12th, 13th, 14th inning. We got to have something in between innings to keep people entertained. They've been here forever. This game's going on
Humpty gets
all
the
night.
dub?
Humpty wins the race. The fans go insane, and then I believe that must have been at the end of the 14th inning, because I'm pretty sure the very next inning, the Mariners walk it off. So it becomes the biggest story in Seattle is Humpty wins, Mariners win. He fueled them to a victory.
Well, he wins from now on then, doesn't he?
That's the problem, Brett, is last night they have the fish race again, and Humpty goes out there. And
They ran it straight up?
He wins it again, and now half the fan base is happy that Humpty continues to win. He's now like the mascot of the playoffs. The other half of the fan base saying, no. That was magical Friday night, what happened at the end of the 14th inning. People will remember that for the rest of their lives, that Humpty won that race. He can't just go out there and win every single race from now on.
I mean, he's not Usain Bolt, is he?
Well, he's not. He's the klutzy one. He's supposed to be the slow one that trips over himself and all of that. And so, yes, my entire social media today has just been people arguing about should this mascot fish be winning these races or not. So
Boy.
We'll see tonight. That's the storyline I'm going to be following.
And to think I thought I'd blown a day at baseball ref.
Yeah, no, yes, I was trying to find news on social media, and I just got into these long threads of people arguing about mascots.
And I get lost at baseball ref
Very
on
easy
this
to do.
date because
Oh, yeah.
around this time of year, all these dates are immortal. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's just what mythologize the game. It's what made me the baseball fan I am, and that's when I found what I sent to you with the
Well, I was
field
just about to
storm me at
ask
Shea.
you. No, it was a great video. I'm glad.
And kind of the first World Series for me, and I'm not saying I watched every pitch of every game, but was into the Mets, and but like the Orioles because of Brooks Robinson.
Oh, yeah.
But I got lost there. There was a point early in the day where I said, shut it down and get down to business for Thursday and Friday radio and Saturday real duties. You don't have time for all this play. This isn't June.
That's one of those you start at whatever time this morning. You look up and it's 3 hours later, and you're going, oh no, I actually have stuff to do today.
In days that I can't waste 10 minutes. Look, it's Chevy Truck Month at All Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch, right down Highway 78 when you cross into Mississippi and it becomes Highway 78. Take that first exit at Kraft Goodman Road, and you're there with Drew DePriest and his great team. And all the new and pre-owned Silverados you want is right there in Olive Branch at All-Star. New 26s. Yeah, 26 Silverados as low as 2.9 for 72 months. No payments till next year. No payment till 26. New 26 Equinox as low as 1.9. No payment till next year. Yes, next year, your new 26 All-Star Chevy Silverado or Equinox can be payment-free through Christmas, the new year, and into next year. Your good credit deserves it, and you'll get it at All-Star. Military and first responders, always instant extra $500 bonus back. If you want certified, barely driven Chevys, All-Star is the place to go. Come check out this huge, and I'm talking huge, selection of certified Chevys and the hottest pre-owns in this area, right there in Olive Branch at All-Star. And if you got any vehicle you want to sell, bring it to All-Star in Olive Branch and get the most money back for it, whether you bought it there or not. Together, let's drive to All-Star. Don't miss the final Chevy Truck Month sale going on now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet. For more information, go to allstarautogroup.com.
Well, let's get to our final break of the day. When we return, we'll wrap up today's show with Mo's Crunch Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
At Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical, we've proudly served families across the Mid-South since 1958. Still family owned and operated, we're built on tradition, trust, and old-fashioned service you can count on. And now to celebrate 68 years of service, we're offering a heating tune-up for just $68. Keep your home safe, efficient, and ready for the cold months ahead. Looking to upgrade? Right now, get up to $2,000 in instant carrier cool cash rebates, plus 60 months, no interest financing on select carrier systems. That means comfort and savings today and peace of mind for years to come. But that's not all. Upgrade today and take advantage of $500 off a tankless water heater or a whole home generator installation. Even more ways to protect your home and your family. Don't wait. These special offers won't last. Call 347-8086 or visit ChotesHVAC.com today and turn to the experts with Choates and let our family serve your family.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Uncorked flavor, Corky's barbecue. We're cooking it up, down home way. Hickory smoke flavor like the good old days.
Hey y'all, Jimmy Stovall here with Corky's Barbecue. With over 175,000 cars served in our drive-thru, 4,000 online pickup orders, and 1,500 party packs delivered to offices and events every year, Corky's is your trusted go-to barbecue for parties. Our party packs start at just $6.99 per person. You can choose 1, 2, or 3 meat combos, pick your favorite sides, and as you know, Corky's always gives you plenty of food, so you never worry about running out. Whether it's pickup or delivery, we've got you covered. Corky's makes it easy to impress your guests. Visit Corky'sBBQ.com to order for your next gathering today.
Uncorked flavor, Corky's barbecue.
Scott Graham here from Thursday Night Football on Westwood One. Jason Benetti and Devin McCourty have the call as Week 6 of the season kicks off with NFC East action between the Eagles and the Giants. New York is 1-1 after moving rookie Jackson Dart into the starting quarterback role. Now they host Jalen Hurts and the 4-1 division rival Eagles. Join us on Thursday Night Football.
Right here on Sports 56.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmett Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing catch. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable, and one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 25 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shields Guards Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 or in Mississippi.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Humdinger's Corporate Catering. Enjoy tacos made with crunchy slaw, grilled fish, and chicken, and the best taco sauce in town. Find out more, call Jenny Nash at 901-606-3172.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This game has always been called the world's greatest cocktail party. Do you know what is going to happen here tonight?
This is Geraldo. It is Crunch Time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that?
Crunch time between the hedges.
The ball game is over, and Memphis has its first win in 16 tries. Its first win ever against its fierce in-state rival Tennessee.
Goodbye!
It's obviously Crunch Time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Moe's Southwest Grill. Need a crunchy bite to eat? Head to Moe's for nachos, crunch wraps, tacos, salads, and more. Moe's.com is your go-to for all your taco crunch time emergencies. Well, Brett, what I learned today is that just a couple weeks after he announced he was retiring from Auburn, CBS Sports College Basketball put out on Twitter earlier today that Bruce Pearl is joining the CBS team and that he will be paired.
Great.
Oh, it's awesome. He's going to be paired with Robbie Hummel to call CBS regular season games and contribute to studio coverage as well as CBS Sports and TNT's joint coverage of March Madness. So we're going to see a different Bruce Pearl in an analyst role. Last night,
he was great before when he did.
He was, and now we'll see him back in there. Last night, he was live tweeting during the Auburn game about the sets that his son was running out there. So this is going to be fun to get him back in studio.
And I really like this person. Only met him once. Don't know him. He doesn't know me at all. I know who he is. He doesn't know me at all. I hope somebody will get this to Michael Wilbon and let him know that Bruce Pearl wasn't fired at all because of his politics.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, this was his decision, and yeah, he's going to go and continue to be around basketball.
What I learned today is down on the Plains too, but it's football. It's must win on the Plains for Hugh Freeze. Pat Smith told us so. Sunday afternoon in the SEC, it could be news-breaking Sunday.
Yeah, no, it absolutely could be. And I mean, you look around this. It's gonna be a weird weekend, Brett.
It's ugly out there.
It is, and it could be a very, very weird weekend. Well, Brett, what I could have done without today is we continue to see, and I feel like we talk about this with almost every sport when we get close to the start of the regular season, but we're seeing less than a week away, more and more injuries popping up around the NBA. Now, we know for the Grizzlies, maybe getting good news on the injury front with Jaren Jackson returning last night, and Ja Morant, it seems like, will be back for the season opener. But the news today out of the NBA, Jaden Ivey from the Pistons, he's going to have knee surgery, and he's going to be out for a little bit of time. Certainly will not be there for the start of the season. You hate seeing this, and it feels like with the NBA over the last couple of days, over the last week or so, we've seen some injuries pop up, but you hate to see it this close to the start of the season and seeing these injuries pop up.
I could have done without that starting pitching performance last night from George Kirby for the Mariners. Tonight, Luis Castillo must be a lot better, or we have a 2-2 series and stop the party.
Yeah, no, things really change. I mean, yesterday before that game last night, we were talking about, man, how great will it be if they get a Game 4 sweep? And
it's easy.
Now very different. Where are you beaming tonight?
I'm beaming to T-Mobile Park for Mariners to try to get it to a one-game shy of a World Series appearance. Game 5 will be in Seattle. Remember, LCS and World Series 2-3-2, not 2-2-1-1-1 like NBA.
Yeah, beam me to this NFL game tonight. Steelers on the road against the Bengals. We'll see what Joe Flacco looks like in his second start for the Bengals. For the Steelers, can they continue rolling, make it 5-1 on the year?
Mike Tomlin, 2-9 on Thursday Night Football on the road. He's on the road tonight against Cincinnati.
Man, I said it earlier. I think it could get weird tonight in Cincinnati, but a lot to watch. You've got the NFL. You've got a college game in the American between Tulsa and East Carolina. You also have that baseball action. A lot to watch tonight. Enjoy it all. Also, balling on Beal tonight, so that will be fun to get the first look at the Tigers. Enjoy all the action. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.